Welcome in, everybody, to episode number 21 of the Pre-Patch Podcast. What's going on, everybody?
That's pretty cool. Hey, our podcast is legal now.
Yeah, it is.
Bro.
That's what we were saying, man.
Legally able to drink, and this disgusting human being down here is drinking eggnog in October.
We were just having a conversation.
I respect
about
you,
this,
Bill.
I don't know what the fuck that is, dude. That is
102 in my area, and I
that is
not drink
absolutely
fucking eggnog,
disgusting.
man.
It is disgusting.
awesome.
It is. It should be literally on the same level as human trafficking. I don't know. It's fucking.
I don't know about that. Holy
All
shit.
right.
Dude, all
Spicy
I'm saying
take.
is if it's in the store, I be buying.
Bro,
Yeah,
that's
dude.
disgusting. Dude,
Especially
well,
that vanilla spice.
like the
Oh,
problem
yeah.
is that where
I
we,
got 4 cartons of it.
how do you drink it
Because I
that
love it so
fast?
much.
Yeah.
I have one every night.
You have a carton a night.
No, 1 glass every
Do
night.
you know how fattening that is?
I don't give a fuck.
It's this cheat like 3 months.
It's fucking. That's. I mean, I'm all for eggnog. I love eggnog, but I'm not drinking it in fucking October, dude. That's just the same way. Like, I do not put up my Halloween decorations until October 1st. I don't put up fucking Thanksgiving decorations until November 1st, and Christmas decorations do not go up until
Can I be
December
completely
1st.
on the level with you guys? Just really
Yeah, man.
quickly. I still haven't put up my Christmas tree from last year.
You
Wait,
took
wait,
it
wait,
down, you
wait, wait.
mean?
Your Christmas tree is still up.
Yeah, it's still up. We
Wow.
just shoved it in a corner.
Oh my god.
Dude, I've known a few families that have done like a holiday tree where they just decorate the tree like. for
I
every
mean, that
holiday
would be
coming
a thing if it didn't have a giant fucking snowman head on it. That would be great.
up.
What kind of
What's,
Christmas tree do you have?
But
Wow.
here we are.
Yep. Anyways.
Wow.
What's good,
Okay. Well,
everyone?
anyway, yeah, we're gonna go. I mean, welcome to episode number 21. Apparently, yeah, we're legal, and now we're just. It's all kind of. What the fuck is that? That's somebody like trying to barge into my room. But anyway,
FBI, open up.
yeah, welcome in, guys.
Happy-
As
Happy October.
yeah,
Like,
happy
we're-
October. We're almost to Halloween. What we're gonna, in
Yeah.
fact,
Almost.
Next podcast will be a couple days before Halloween. We'll have to have a spooky.
it will.
Spooky.
Oh, no.
Be. It will.
I'm gonna
be.
miss that one.
God damn it,
No, well, that's fine.
Scruffy.
In any case, obviously, I cannot do this alone, and we have the entire crew here tonight. So we've got Scruff. How are you doing, Scruff?
Doing good, doing good. Jay chilling, you know, like I do. What's up?
Jay chilling.
My
Jesus
God.
Christ! I just want to make sure everybody is aware too that Scruffy does have the Renegade Raider on Fortnite. So.
Oh yeah,
just,
wait. You were asking me about
Yeah,
that.
dude, my son
earlier.
wouldn't believe me. My son was like, "There's no way." I was like, "Dude, he has
Well,
Renegade Raider," and
You could tell him that I have the aerial assault trooper too, which is even more rare.
I went and
and
looked at your clips
some
and found it.
Other
and
pickaxe
so,
or something.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So anyway,
I'm gonna pretend
You're a
like I know
legend
what
in
the
my
fuck
eyes.
all of you are
Yeah.
talking about.
I know.
and
I'm just that good.
and then we've got Bill down below. He is our
What's up, guys?
our resident Souls player.
Yeah, man.
That's all I got.
That's what we got.
That's
That's what
it.
we got.
And you know, the one person that all of us can just collectively hate is Enigma. What's up, Enigma?
that's how it goes, boys. That's how,
So,
hey, I just got really quickly, public service announcement from Enigma.
you know,
35 days, 4 hours, 52 minutes, and 37 seconds till Cyberpunk 2077 releases.
And there it is.
yeah.
Just
By the way, that
we have our
we,
personal countdown for that game.
we most
right
likely
there.
will probably not see Enigma on any shows for a
No.
while after that happens.
Yeah, no.
Like,
Yeah.
like-
Completely gone for like 2 weeks. Probably
So
gonna
if
take
anybody's
weeks off.
interested in an open slot, we will have one in the pre-patch podcast, and so we'll be more than happy to replace.
I mean, unless you guys just want me to have like my screen share of me playing it and just don't ask me any questions. Just like
No, it's-
I'm just gonna be in the background.
It's perfect. He doesn't have a face cam. We could just put somebody else who just sounds a little bit like him, and we'll just say
Bro.
it's
Who
Enigma
the
still.
fuck
You
sounds
can't-
like
you
Enigma?
can't get anybody to sound like me. Bro.
Enigma
I-
sounds like
I
an
would- I
80-year-old
would
that's
like
been
to see
smoking
you
fucking
sound
Marlboro
like me.
Reds.
Scruffy.
Yeah,
Well,
he-
I don't know if I can.
He
Enigma.
sounds like someone that's been smoking Marlboro Reds for fucking 6 years. So, but anyway, but welcome in everybody. Also to everybody that is live in our chats, thank you guys so much for being here. And anybody that is not live in our chat, we do actually we do this live. We do these on Twitch, right on my channel, on Scruffy's channel, as well as on Bill's channel. And you can come interact with us, and you can come and join chat, and we actually open it up at the very end of the show to questions for you guys, to be able to, ask us whatever's on your mind in regards to what we talked about, or kind of give your opinions. And chat's always fun. It's engaging, and we respond, to it as much as we can. It's a good time. But if you can't, obviously, we are on Spotify, we're on YouTube, excuse me. And you can catch us there. If you are in chat right now and you have to leave, !podcast, and all the channels will get you the links to be able to go watch the show or catch up wherever you may miss it. And obviously you can catch our VODs too. But we really would like you to go on the Spotify. That is our application of choice if you have to choose to listen to it after the fact. So, and honestly, thank you so much to Scruffy and to Enigma. I don't think a lot of people understand the massive amount of work that goes into getting those things updated. And we are up to date. Yes, no, yep.
Should be all up to date.
Yep.
All-
Other than this episode,
There you
guys
go.
Should have all 20 episodes prior to this one. So.
There you go.
Yep.
So everything is caught up. So there you go. You got now you'll have 21 episodes to listen to. That's crazy. That's nuts. I would have not thought 21 episodes ago that we would have been doing, that it would have, I didn't make this far, but just like how far we've come. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's a crazy thought.
And we're always looking for improvements and all that kind of stuff. As you know, we updated the artwork thanks to Sunsprite. I wanted to say something different, but that's not her name now. It's Sunsprite Bay. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Sunsprite Bay.
Right.
Bill, go hit up Bill's channel. Get your commissions if you want to get work done. She's an
Hell
awesome
yeah.
artist. So, all right. Well, guys, it is a ritual on our show that we always start off with Twitch drama, and this week is no fucking different. And we are, again, I don't think there's gonna be a show where we're not gonna have Twitch drama that comes up. And
It
so
tries to stay away.
it tries to do
went
it. It
low-key
tries
this
to be
time.
sneaky.
A few times.
It tries to be
teases
sneaky.
us.
Yeah, it definitely tries to be sneaky. But the dumpster fire that is Twitch right now, there's a couple things that kind of came out, right? And I think two of the ones that are probably the most predominant is obviously the bullshit that happened with the raid alerts, and basically saying that if you are not above 5, right? I think it's the number's 5.
Yeah, 5
It's
is the
5 and
threshold.
below. Yeah.
Does not register at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the raid still goes through as far as I'm aware, but
It
there
does.
is no notification on the person being raided that you did such a thing.
But my question is,
doesn't even
does
come
it
off as a host.
does it notify on the
Like stream elements. and
like
shit.
yeah, like on Stream Elements or Shit Labs?
Nope, it
No?
does. It
don't
does
think
not
so.
forward any of that info.
Oh,
I
interesting.
think sometimes it comes up with hosts depending on how the person has their.
Whenever
Host
I get
alert
raided, yeah, whenever I get raided, typically I get a raid and then a host below it. It doesn't show
Yeah.
either of those if the
Yeah.
threshold hasn't been met.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I don't
They-
understand why
they-
this was a thing.
They claim it's one of the things that they're trying to do to prevent botting. I guess raid botting
botting
was
is
a
a
thing,
thing?
and they found that the the accounts that are doing these bot attacks tend to bot with less 5 or less viewers, and they just push out a bunch of small raids just to get whatever troll message they want out there to cause
there's-
chaos.
So I feel like there's got to be a
Same thing
better
with
way.
follow
this is
bot
bullshit.
or anything like that.
I think that to me, like, that's such a bullshit thing to do, because especially like on smaller streamers like us, we don't, it's, any raid, any kind of host that we get, we want to notify the person that's doing it and tell them thank you. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
I think it's
Of course.
bullshit to fucking limit this, and there's got to be a better way of doing it. And to be 100% honest, like, I have to believe that there is some way to see code to be like, oh, this person is just, is a spike in bot. Like I work in this industry and go look at someone's chat and I'm like, oh, they're this is a fucking view bot, because they'll have 1,000 people in chat and nobody's talking to them. Like nobody's saying a fucking word. Like, get out of here, dude. Like,
Right.
it just
I hadn't even heard of raid botting
Yeah,
until
I
they
don't-
put that tweet out too.
and I don't even know
So
why.
I don't know how
like,
prevalent this
It's
issue
it's
is.
because it's not an actual thing. That's
Yeah.
just the convenient
Just-
story that they put out to fucking get people off of their trail.
Yeah, it's
Well,
fucking stupid.
they did say that they are trying to do a workaround. This is just a temporary fix to the issue, and that they do plan on reinstating all raid alerts. That's what they claim.
So
Right.
So again, if I'm sitting back and I'm Twitch, right, and I'm looking at everything that's going on, right, we've got a huge amount of people that are getting banned for right reasons, people that are getting banned for non-right reasons. We got people that are flashing titties on stream. We got people that are just blowing, shooting guns on stream, all of this other kind of stuff. But at everything that's going on, what we decide that we're going to focus our time on is 5 and below raid alerts, because that's the problem.
That's priorities right there.
That's,
I mean,
Apparently it's Twitch.
It's part of the course these days for Twitch. I mean, they chose that as a priority for them to focus on, and then they also chose, instead of worrying about discoverability and small streamers being represented on the actual platform, they focused on ad rules, forcing people to do ad rules.
Yep.
So.
And this is where a lot of it comes into play, where I talked about how it really is a downfall that Mixer did go down, because not saying that like it would cause a huge amount of upset, right, or that it would cause Twitch to do the right thing, but it legitimately, we have no other option as content creators. You can go to Hitbox. No one's gonna fucking go to Hitbox. You can go to Facebook Gaming, but let's be 100% honest. Like Facebook Gaming is really realistically a joke. It just is not a streaming platform. And even YouTube, it's still not a streaming platform. It is, YouTube's just as much of a dumpster fire as fucking Twitch is.
It's equal dumpster fire, and unfortunately
all their algorithms and shit. It's just
that's
as bad.
Their only competition for Twitch right now is YouTube.
And I don't know if you guys have ever gone to YouTube's fucking live to try to go see their live streaming section. It's a fucking shit show. I
don't think I've ever clicked on
it's insane. It's so hard to even find their live page, and when you do find it, it's just all over the place. It's fucking nuts. I mean, it's crazy. So I don't know. It's like Twitch can now just kind of kick back and say you know what? Where else are you gonna fucking go, right? And they're still signing people to exclusive agreements, right?
Right.
And to me, it's almost like, okay, you do that, but why? Because they can't go. It's not like they can go anywhere else. And even if they do go somewhere else, it's just I don't know.
They're about to doc ban them.
I just don't get it, man. And it's crazy. And then you got this stuff too, where alleged. All of this stuff is alleged, and we're not going to name the person or whatever, but there is a person that has got pedophile charges or pedophile accusations made that is partnered, and whatever else, and they're not even batting an eye, and it's not like the allegations that are being made are just a one-off, two-off kind of thing. There is a lot of substantial evidence to this that's behind it, and there's not even a question about the partner check. It's there, and it's just I'm just during this whole the Me Too movement and all this other kind of stuff, and coming out, people lost their check marks for a lot less, but this person specifically has their check mark, and I don't know, it just blows me away, man.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's what I was about to bring up as well. Is the last time that we had that big Me Too movement, several months ago, when they had a bunch of big name streamers get outed for grooming and shit. Twitch was all yeah, we don't stand behind this kind of behavior and this and that in between, and now they're partnering somebody that has actual allegations, whether they've been charged or not.
Allegations are allegations.
Allegations are allegations. They've legitimately
known about it.
They legitimately banned the people. They legitimately banned the people the last time for less. They were literally just banning people for some person on Twitter fucking coming out and being yeah, he touched my thigh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, these allegations have been going on for years. I've been hearing for them about a while. So there's no doubt that someone at Twitch has not heard about this.
Right.
And they still go and decide to partner him.
I feel like everybody in the content creation realm you guys probably know who we're talking about. It's
I'm gonna
anybody
come
in
out there and say
content
I don't know who the
creation.
fuck this dude is. Like, I had to ask you guys who it was, but then again, I don't really go out and look for that kind of. Fucking...
He was predominantly on YouTube, and I don't know how much you.
Yeah, I don't really follow YouTube all that much. I mean, I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, in any case, like, especially because you've got situations where, you know, like people are saying in chat, like the viewer on Twitch is a younger audience, right? You know, it's not like we're talking about, you know, you're streaming on P-Hub, right? We're talking about like and even still, like, it doesn't make it any better, but it's the fact that like the audience that's here, the reach that you have is a younger audience. And there's a big difference between a YouTube content creator where their videos are there and, you know, you can go on.
That live interaction makes all the difference.
Right. Like, I don't let my kids go into live streams. I just don't. Like, they're not going to, right? They're, you know, 13 or, you know, about to be 13 and 10. And like, you have no need to be in a live stream, like, whatsoever. I don't care if they're family friendly. I don't care what it is. Like, you don't need to be there. And especially because you can't control chat. Like,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I was going
to
to say. Is it's not always just the streamer. You know, there's been tons of times where it's definitely the chat that gets out of hand.
Right. You know, so I just, you know, looking at something like this, I just don't understand, you know, how on one hand we're, and this has been Twitch, man. It's like a running joke now about like the way that they ban things, the way they make decisions. It's literally a fucking D&D, you know, it's a D20, just roll a dice and fucking see where it lands, you know? And if you pass your perception check, well, you get everything given to you. And if you don't, well, then it's fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most of the time Twitch is critical failing anyways. So
like, yeah, I mean, they literally, I mean, it's insane. And I don't understand just the whole, like, the mentality, like, when is it gonna, you know, at what point is it going to be where Twitch actually does stand up and say enough's enough? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to? You know what I mean? Like, are they?
I doubt it.
You know, and we hear the Twitch Council. We hear, you know, every TwitchCon is like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, but like none of that shit happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just it's ridiculous, man. And like, I've tweeted it, I've said it, and we can all echo it. But like, Twitch, like, we deserve better and you should be better. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, you know? And this is where I say, like, I was around in the Justin TV days. I missed those days. Like, and honestly, like, through all of this stuff, I can tell you right now, like, the moment that something actually does show a legitimate, like, actual legitimate thing, to be a competitor for Twitch, there will be a very strong consideration for me to leave and go.
It's gonna be an exodus, dude. Like, there's gonna be an exodus on a lot of people's part, I think, at this point, with how poorly they've kind of taken care of some of this shit. Like, I would not doubt that if, and we talked about it when Doc and those guys were kind of having thoughts, and when we were talking about how, like, Ninja and stuff was trying to figure out where he was going. Like, I truly do think that if Doc and Ninja and Shroud had gone in, just pooled their fucking money and made their own, streaming service, dude, the amount of people that would have left Twitch would have been exponential, man.
Yeah,
in my opinion, just because their names solely, and because of how well they would probably do having a streamer base at the top of that, you know.
No, having streamers in charge, like, having streamers figuring out what other streamers want, right? Because like, they, you know, say what you want about Shroud, say what you want about, you know, Ninja. Not really a big fan of Ninja. He could fuck off. We could do just Shroud and Doc if we want to, but like, Doc and Shroud themselves, I think, as like paragons of the streaming community, are decent leaders, right? Like, they when they say something, I think that people would listen to what they were saying and agree with it for the most part.
You know, and people say that they want, you know, Twitch to hire streamers actually for their staff. I don't think that's going to make a difference, though, because obviously you've seen the Twitch council or whatever, and what that did.
Yeah, it goes up to management. It's exactly like
the streamer. Right? If they hire any streamers, they're not going to have any power. Still, I doubt it.
It's exactly like World of Warcraft, right? Like, it's been well, not really proven, but a lot of people say that like the current development teams and everything like that don't really play the game. So it's like you have people that don't really play the game making decisions for people that play the game, right? Like you can't make proper decisions for something if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, but here's the thing too, is like a lot of people, and I'll tell everybody right now, like Brime is not a thing. Like anybody that thinks that Brime is a thing, Brime is fake. Like
Brime time, boys.
I have insider information, and I'm not gonna say what, but I'm just saying Brime is fake. Do not sit there
if we
and
lose
think,
then tomorrow, we know why.
like I'm just telling
got
you,
cut.
Brime is completely fake. It is not a real.
I knew that
company.
from the beginning.
Yeah, I think we kind of figured that out back when it fucking. First
Yeah, but there's a bunch of fucking people. If you go to Brime's Twitter account, there are a bunch of fucking people that think that it's
so many
real.
people like I signed up. Where's my email?
Yeah, like it's a fake thing. Brime's not a real. It's not gonna happen. You know, and I don't know. It takes so much to actually do this and do it right. You know, to start a streaming company that can handle these kind of things and do this kind of stuff. So I don't know. You know, and
we talk about the Justin TV days, right? And like, yeah, it was a wild fucking west out there when Justin TV was around. You know, you just had fucking anybody and their moms could fucking make an account and stream whatever the fuck they wanted to, right? But I almost feel like back then it wasn't as bad, you know, like it wasn't as bad as it is right now with Twitch. Like, yeah, there was fucking racist groups on there that were fucking streaming. There was people that were doing the whole Holocaust bullshit on there and all that, right? But like I almost feel like it being like just like the U.S. government, right? Like we don't want as much involvement with the U.S. government and everybody, right? I don't really want Twitch handling everything inside of Twitch, right? Like,
you guys are making kind of give so many good segues, but I can't. Like, I'm trying to follow the law, but anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, basically, what I'm trying to say is I just wish Twitch would just kind of leave shit alone a little bit.
Well,
right?
I mean, the thing about it is that the saying has always held true, is like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I think that that's where Twitch has got, right? Sure. Like they have just been like, okay, and it's not everything at Twitch. Like I think there are a lot of good people that are at Twitch, right? But I think that there are people that are making decisions, that are in leadership, that are deciding this stuff, that just don't have the best interest of Twitch at heart. And the sad thing is that I'll tell you, like Hitbox, like I loved Hitbox. Like I streamed on Hitbox, and Hitbox was a really great server. Hitbox offered unlimited, uncapped encoding. You could do 4K streaming. As much as you could pump into it is what it would give you, right? And it was great, but the problem was that it's such a small thing that Twitch basically can just crush it, because it's just like discoverability there doesn't exist, right? And when you think about it, like Mixer and these kind of things, right? Like if Microsoft can't do it, who the fuck can? You know what I mean? Like if Microsoft can't build a streaming platform, not to say that Microsoft did not give a fuck about Mixer. Like they did not. Like
I was about to say, I think that Microsoft could have done it. I just don't think Microsoft gave a fuck. I think they were just like, well, why would we continue to pump money into a streaming service?
But you're gonna have
this,
but you're gonna have that be a thing where companies that can do it are not going to do it, are not going to give a shit because they're making money in elsewhere. The only time that I see this becoming a legitimate thing is at the point whenever we get to where Eastern culture is with esports, and where those like esports is looked at as like that is the sport, you know, like that is a real thing. And over here, and I don't know when and if that will happen. Like American, like for the US and for the Western culture to be like, oh, the League of Legends Worlds is going on or the NBA Finals is going on, I'm gonna watch Worlds, right? Like that. And what's crazy is that if you actually look at it from like a universal perspective, Worlds pulls in way more viewership than the NBA Finals does. You know, even though
especially now
the US, and you can argue, yes, it's regional based and that's only American, basketball, and most countries don't care about basketball, but it's still showing a fact that like until we get that point, I don't think you're gonna have a company that's gonna give a shit enough to be like, yes, I want to really dive into making this a legitimate thing, and try to take on Twitch. And even still, then like I don't like people are saying in chat, like Bezos literally could just be like, fuck you, I'm gonna just buy you out and be done with it. Like I need someone like Elon Musk to come around into the fucking streaming world. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Like,
can I make a quick aside that he price pointed the new model Tesla at $69,420 today, and I laughed out loud in my office.
why? What is? I don't understand. Am I not getting something?
69,420, bro.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That's literally
Oh my
it. That's
God.
the whole thing. Is because he priced it at 69,420.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a flex.
Okay.
that's a flex.
Is it
No,
really
no,
a flex?
no,
It's just
no.
stupid.
Yeah, that's
To me,
that's
a flex.
awesome.
To me, a flex would be like, oh, the Model S. Hey, by the way, if you trade in any of your gas cars,
It's free.
It's free. That's a flex.
Well, it's also all of his Tesla models spell sexy.
That-
That's a flex.
God.
That's great. I like, again, my whole point, and this is coming from someone that will own a Cybertruck whenever it, like, I still have my pre-order for the Cybertruck, but like, I don't know. Anyway, okay, great. Yeah, great. I thought we
He's a
talked about
legend.
like, I thought we talked about not derailing the podcast and trying to keep this short.
Say.
God damn it. Now, see, guys, because of that comment, now I got to nix like 6 things off the fucking list here that we got to talk about.
It's
So,
done.
there goes Baldur's
The
Gate.
whole-
We're not talking about, Star Wars. There goes World of Warcraft, all because of one comment.
The
about
fucking
Tesla.
episode is
Yeah.
gone, boys.
Um,
End it right here.
anyway, but it's not just Twitch that's also on fire. Amazon as a gaming company is also on fire or whatever else. And so if you didn't know about this game called Crucible, which I'm sure most of you may have heard about it, but didn't actually know it existed and didn't even know what the fuck it is. Crucible was like I don't know, me and Scrubby played it. It's like it's
It's
a
an arena
BR
shooter.
style. Yeah. Like arena PvPvE, like shooter. I don't know. It's fucking weird. Like, and it was kind of cool. Like it had some cool concepts, but Amazon nixed it. Amazon's like done. Like they didn't even give it the
They
time
didn't
of
get
fucking
far at
day.
all. They were still in beta. I'm pretty sure, right? Beta testing.
Yeah.
They didn't
early
They
access,
didn't
yeah.
even get to. They didn't even get to like open beta. Or no, they did get to open.
No, they
beta.
got
It
open
was
They
beta.
just got
open beta.
they were open beta, but
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this just shows that like Amazon, literally, if it's not a hit right off the bat, it's done. And so this is why I'm thinking like New World do not have any fucking hopes for New World at all, because that game will come out, it will see success, and then it's gonna hit the ground and they're gonna fucking nix it. And I'm real worried about Lost Ark. The only thing about Lost Ark, I'm like, well, they're only publishing it, so maybe they won't have as much pull in that say, but I don't know, man. It seems like anything Amazon touches is fucking just
the good thing is that they did state that they were going to give full refunds for anybody with who bought anything in Crucible.
True.
So that's at least good guy Amazon, but still.
Yeah,
I mean-
instead of making we have all the money in the world, we could do whatever we wanted. Instead of making the game better, fuck it, we're just gonna nix a bunch of jobs and give everybody their money back. Like,
Pretty much.
Jesus Christ, dude, I don't know.
We've been talking about it with Amazon ever since we kind of had a conversation with New World, right? Like
Mhm.
I've been saying it from the start. I don't really trust Amazon anymore, especially with the fact that they failed their first product. They've now failed Crucible, and I don't really see New World going anywhere, right? So that's instantly 3 strikes right there as soon as they fucking release.
Right.
So
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see. I don't know. I just don't think that it's gonna be. I don't think New World has a chance. I mean, New World doesn't have a chance anyway because the game is just has no direction and doesn't like. I don't know. I was in on it for a while, and then I realized very quickly that it was just kind of shit.
It
So.
just wasn't anything
Yeah.
special.
So, but in any case, what are you gonna do? I don't know. It just shows like Amazon legitimately, like I just don't think that they give a shit about anything anymore.
No.
So,
They're just bored.
yeah,
think.
100%,
They're
100%
just
bored. So, yeah, but moving on, from there, we talked about a little bit about, and then we kind of brought this up in regards to, Twitch being kind of invasive and kind of getting out and not like having their hands in everything. This actually came down the line today. Enigma brought it up, and actually, Enigma, if you want to go ahead and talk about it, the whole Sony kind of thing, I think it's very interesting and should be
Oh.
brought up.
I know what the fuck you were talking about. I was
Oh.
like, what?
Transition
fucking
so good, even
throwing shit at me that I'm not prepared for, bro. I didn't even know we were going to talk about this.
Put me on
But
the notepad.
I mean, it's not that like
It is
I
it's a big
don't
deal.
know.
That's a big
It
fucking
is a
deal.
big deal.
Big deal, but it's
It is
new.
it is a
It's
huge
something-
deal, right? Like it is. I don't know a lot about it because
Yeah.
I literally I didn't think we were going to cover it. Thank you, Sin.
I mean,
throwing him in the deep end.
I mean, do you want me to?
But-
Say, I'll say it if you don't. I mean, I don't. I'll bring it up.
I mean, if you want to, like I said, it's not that
Sony's-
much. Like we don't have that much to go off of. Like it's literally them updating their 8.8 or whatever it is firmware, and inside their clauses they updated their TOS or whatever it is, and essentially they can record your conversations at any point, private or otherwise, inside of a party, and use it as TOS violation. Right. On top of that, other people that are inside of your party can record your conversation without telling you.
Yeah,
Send
but
it to
so
Sony and get you in
how
trouble.
does that? I wonder how that works in regards to because in the U.S. there's technically a law that states that you have to let
Yeah.
someone know that you're recording him.
In some areas, yeah. Like there's I know Colorado has it. I don't think Utah does. I know California has it. But yeah, that's what I brought up was I was like, you know, in most states in the United States, you have to give consent for somebody to record you like that, right? The problem is though is like if as long as you've used that firmware and you've updated that firmware, technically you've agreed to their TOS,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just
and that's how they're going to get around it.
I don't know. I'm kind of blown away, honestly. Like because to me, to some it may not sound like a big deal, but like it 100% is a big deal. Like somebody that is
huge invasion
a
of privacy.
company
Yeah.
that is now recording your conversations. Just to put it into perspective for everybody, right? TikTok got fucking banned out of the US and in a shit ton of trouble for stuff that is very similar to this, right? Which is basically taking people's information and mining people's information, right? And in this, it's in my legal, like from a legal viewpoint, it's the same thing. They're literally basically recording your conversations, and that is an invasion of privacy, just like data mining is an invasion of privacy. So I don't understand like where or what good comes from this. Like I don't. I mean, I don't know.
I can only just think back to like the old Modern Warfare 2 days.
Holy
in the
fuck,
lobbies
man.
of how toxic people
Well,
were.
dude. So some of the comments that I was seeing in
It's
the
bad.
announcement were fucking cracking me up. There was one that was like, "Oh shit, now Timmy's gonna know when I say fuck you, I'm gonna fuck your mom."
Yeah.
Like
Like I don't see what their purpose is behind this other than
I
like
don't
you know
understand it either.
coming out and being like, yeah, it's just something to stop people from I don't know being toxic or
guess,
being bullied.
yeah.
Or
Even,
I don't know.
even then, it doesn't cover like voice chat through like game servers or anything
It's
like
just
that.
party
It
chat,
only
right?
Only
covers-
party chat.
It's only
Yeah.
party chat.
Yeah,
But that's all that
which,
we
if you're in
know
a
of.
party,
No, that's all we know of. We don't know technically where that fucking that recording stops at, right? They've admitted to the fact that
let's
they
be
will
real
record
here,
your
though.
parties.
They've
So
been
far, I
recording
think
us ever since microphones were put onto the PlayStation.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
That's the tinfoil hat portion of me, right? It's like,
Mhm.
okay, so if they're willing to record my party, my party conversations without telling me, what the fuck else are they recording? Right?
Right.
Oh, aliens.
Well,
Anunnaki.
I think the big thing here is that it's the same situation that comes in to where and this is a great segue that we're going to talk about with the touch points on the like kind of Epic Apple and the conclusion of all of that, but like slipping this stuff into a 400-page document that someone has to go read to go see or whatever else is not. That's not the right way of doing it. And though, yes, from a legal standpoint, yes, it's there, right? But
Mhm.
from an actual like ethical and moral and realistically, even in a lot of court of law, like it will not hold up in court to say like, oh, well, we told you that it was there. You just had to read 17 pages down into the TOS to see that we were recording your conversation. Those kind of things have to be very upfront, have to be, be known that it is out there. And yes, people are recording conversations, everything that is said, your cameras are all like, look, man, the cameras are always fucking on. We all know that
Yeah.
shit. But the reality of it is that I can almost guarantee that they're not just taking those conversations and using them for TOS. Like that is not the only thing that's happening there. And that in fact is where you become, now you do break the law, because
they're throwing those conversations into like analytic based analysis and trying to figure out how they can better pinpoint like fucking purchases towards you, advertisement towards you, just like Facebook does. Because like you said right there, we've got a couple people in chat that are talking about like Google and Facebook have been recording us for years. It's true. There's points in which I can be sitting there talking to my brother or talking to my mom about something, and you can say that it's they've got a specific word for it where it's like you're talking about it, therefore it's in your mind, so you just notice it. But it's like there's a correlation between you mentioning something like surfboards, and then you look on fucking Facebook and you've suddenly got an ad for surfboards.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? It's a little sus.
It's all tracking us, everything.
There's a great Netflix documentary, and I said this before on the show, and I'm gonna say it again. Everybody in chat needs to go watch the Netflix documentary called The Social Dilemma. It talks exactly about this. Like it is very, very much about this specifically. But again, the issue with this is not the fact of like, that they are, now recording, the conversations. Realistically, what I want to know is, one, have you been recording the conversations the entire time and somehow now you just got caught and now you are throwing it in a TOS and an update or whatever else and saying that?
That's honestly, that's pretty good.
That's one. Secondly, what are you doing with these conversations? And two, I don't think that's happening beyond inside of games, because now you're talking about the developer. Like that's happening in the developers' servers and voice communications, not Sony's. So they don't have any play in that specifically. But it just, I don't know. It's just one of these things where it's like, why? What is it like? What benefit? And honest to God, like I have said this from the very beginning. Like this is why I do not have a Facebook account. Or any of that kind of shit. And I, do not subscribe to any of those kind of things. And like Twitter, I hate it or whatever else, but I'm also not a Looney Tune and like, oh my God, get out of my shit. Like my whole thing is just come up to me and be like, you know what? I'm recording your information and I'm fucking going to feed you advertisements. And I'm going to feed you everything, or whatever else. And just be upfront with it. Be like, I'm recording your shit so I can give you ads. Okay, cool. Great. I'm glad I know it. Like, the part that pisses me off the most, I think, is the simple fact that so they're recording my information, they're getting all this information from me, and then they're selling it to other companies. Right. Oh, you should.
Right. Where the fuck is my cut for that shit, bro? Come on. That's my fucking data.
That's one of the things that is actually still in litigation now in the Supreme Court. Is around the fact that you should be paid. Like every person should be paid a certain amount.
I want to get them fat stacks from Facebook, from my fucking
or advertisements,
or from Google, from
Google,
from my Pornhub.
But in any case, like it's just very interesting, and it was one thing that, like I said, it came up, and it's honestly too, like I'm wondering. And this is the last thing I'll bring up about it, but do you guys think this is going to affect anything with the sales of the new system? Like, do you think that this is like going to?
I think most people don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people give a fuck. There was conversation about it being in the next iteration for the next firmware. Like they pushed this firmware update to test it, to test the waters and see if they could push it into the PS5 firmware, which wouldn't surprise me, but. I again, like we've been saying, like they're recording our conversations. Fucking Google's recording our conversations. Facebook is listening to us constantly. If most of the population, a good portion of the population, could give a fuck less about Google and Facebook,
that's because most of the population isn't doing anything. That they need to be concerned about getting recorded or anything like that.
Oh,
and like what Sinan said, most of this information that they are gonna take is going into marketing.
Right.
Well, and it's also to the point that it's like. If you want to know about it, you have to be tech savvy enough to know what you're looking for, right? Because like when it comes to Google, you have to be tech savvy enough to know where to look for the conversations that they're recording. I don't know if you guys know this, but inside of your personal private settings in Google, they have recording data that you can go in there and delete. They have like delete. You can go in there and delete your search history. You can go in there and delete everything. Yeah, and it's like when I found out about it, I was a little shocked. I was like, damn. They
Dude,
have
that's
this
why
much information on me. I didn't even know about that.
that's why I sent it to Scruffy, but I'm telling you right now, man, every single time I wipe my PC or do any kind of install of Windows, I go through and I do this like clean sweep of Windows, and I'm telling you right now, dude, I clear out every fucking data tracking, telemetry. I can tell you right now, you get to a point where the updates don't work no more, but nobody can track any of my shit. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, you know, so, and we talked about like things getting slipped into the contracts, and I think, you know, Enigma again has been following this like a fucking, you know, I mean, this is like the OJ Simpson trial for him, but is the Epic versus Apple.
It's a funny trial, man.
Kind of thing. And
I find it extremely hilarious to read up about it because I mean, I don't think it's a secret by now. We're 21 episodes into the fucking podcast. Everybody knows I do not like Epic. I don't like Tim Sweeney. Fucking can't stand him. Wish they just vanish off the earth. I wish they would go away. Right? I'm not gonna kill him. I'm just joking. Just joking. Twitch. I don't. You know.
Twitch.
But if tomorrow Tim Sweeney and Epic just vanished, I would not be upset about it. I would not be butthurt. But it is fucking hilarious to watch the antics going on between these two tech giants, basically, and the childish, in some cases, comments that are made inside of the court documentations that just makes me laugh. But yeah, they just as an update, we kind of had a conversation about it last week. I covered it a little bit, just kind of updating everybody as to what was going on and the fact that, you know, Apple and them were kind of arguing amongst each other. We've got kind of a conclusion, not really a conclusion. Like the actual finishing of the trial is next year, I think in January sometime. That's when they're going to actually have the trial with the judge and everything like that. It's not a sitting trial, so the judge essentially is going to make a decision on what goes down without Apple or Epic being in location. But essentially what happened is the courts have come to a decision that Apple was in the wrong for removing the engine that they use, the Unreal Engine. They can't ban the Unreal Engine from being used on the App Store, which was what Apple was trying to do. I personally don't agree with it. I think that it's one of those things where it's kind of a loophole, but my feelings are regardless of the point. But they did agree with Apple in the fact that them banning Epic, or not Epic, but Fortnite was correct, and that it was completely within their ability, and the fact that it goes down to the fact that Epic and Tim Sweeney did this themselves. Like they continuously come back to that. They're like, you did this to yourself. This was a self-inflicted detriment to your company. If you wanted to change it, Apple has given you the complete ability to do so, and you just refuse to do it because you're assholes, basically.
So is Epic gonna put the things in place to put Fortnite back on the iPhone?
Oh, of course not. No,
wow.
fucking no. They're not gonna admit that what they did was incorrect and what they did was a shitty fucking decision, right?
I mean, I think
I don't think that's within Tim Sweeney's like retinue of the ability to do so is admit that he was wrong.
Well, the thing about this too is honestly, I think that this is. I don't necessarily think it's going to single-handedly be the downfall of Fortnite, but I think that like it is taking a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of energy away from Fortnite. Because the game has been declining. Like it's you know, everybody has said like what's gonna be the thing that's gonna take down Fortnite, and we have all said Fortnite's what's gonna take down Fortnite. Like it's just going to eventually kind of peter out. And yes, it's still one of the, like if you look at it, it's like a very top stream game, but it's nowhere near what it was.
Nowhere near what
you
it
know,
was.
the player base is not there. Your content creators are not streaming it anymore. Like you know, the big guys, like yes, you're still gonna have like your Nick A30s or whatever else. Ninja doesn't even stream Fortnite now. You know, he's on Valorant. You know, you've got TimTheTatman streams, you know, Call of Duty. Nick Merck streams Call of Duty. All of these guys are streaming Call of Duty. So like, you know, I don't know, but I foresee that this will be one of the like nail in the coffins for Fortnite as a whole, which I'm happy for. Congratulations.
No, we already know
Fortnite currently isn't in top 5.
Yeah,
right now.
We already know that they're losing a lot. Like they're losing 27. I think it's 27 million a month.
I believe
from not being on the App Store, right? On the Apple App Store. I can't remember if they're back with Google. I'm pretty sure that Google was like, okay, well, we're not able to get into the, because when the whole thing happened, Google kind of was like, hey, I want in on this, and everybody was like, shut the fuck up, Google, go back to doing. Nobody gives a shit, right? But I think that they're back on Google, on the Google App Store. But no, definitely Apple has basically told them, no, you can fuck off. You did this to yourself. And it's funny that you say that, with the fact that they're kind of ruining themselves. That's exactly what Apple has been saying the entire time. Is this entire situation was brought up in their eyes as kind of a form of getting their name back out there, right? It's what we talk about sometimes with like bad press is still press, right?
Yeah.
Bad press is still good press in the long run.
Right.
That's the whole thing, is like when it came down to Epic and the whole fight against Apple or whatever free Fortnite, I think is what it was, the hashtag free Fortnite bullshit. Like they had that ready to go.
Oh yeah.
The instant.
I guarantee you though that Epic didn't expect it to go down like this though, and to finish like this, because I feel like they're still ultimately losing out.
Oh, interesting. Jay, one of our viewers just informed us. Yeah, it's completely gone on the Google store as well. So they're losing out on two pretty massive mobile stores right now. That's and if it's 27 million on Apple, I would even say that's like, it's like half of that on Google, maybe a little bit more. So they're probably losing out on a good 40 million easily a month. Yeah, close to it.
Well, I mean, I got my kid off of it. My oldest son, we built him a PC, or he got one of my old PCs, and he hasn't touched Fortnite since. You know, so you know,
well, we've always said that it's like it's one of those games. It's manufactured to be a child's game basically, but adults still play it. But it's like, why? Well, it doesn't make any sense to anybody, right? Like they push content out for 12-year-olds and the younger audiences. It's all about mechs. It's all about explosions. It's all about pretty colors.
Well, right? I mean, I could tell you, if they didn't have building in the game, I would play the game. But if they didn't have building in the game, it wouldn't be what it is. Like, it wouldn't be successful. But
it sucks when the defining features, because it's the same thing with me. I could not get past the building aspect of it. It drove me wild.
Like I watched my son play it, my youngest, and he's good. I mean, he does very, very well, right? And like, but it's just, to me, it's like the moment that something happens in that game and you get into a fight, it's just like, and I'm like,
it's just like epilepsy,
like,
dude.
You know,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm seeing, and like, I'm just seeing, and again, like, I'm not taking it away, because people that play at that high level, and like, he plays at a very high level of being able to like understand where he's editing, what he's doing, which is impressive. But like, I'm like, how is this fun? Like, what? How? Like, it's just who's gonna slip up on a fucking wall, you know, or whatever else, versus like, in my opinion, of the skill. And I mean, I know Scruffy is he was a Fortnite player.
Oh yeah, at one point, but I'll tell you got to sign your kid up for some tournaments or something. Get him that Booga money or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, to end it, I don't think that we'll probably bring this up for the foreseeable future, just up until the point that they actually go to court, unless something major happens, like Epic finally admits that they did a shitty thing and counteracts it, which again I don't think is going to happen. No, but just to kind of end it, I completely agree with what Apple's saying. Not so much in the fact that they banned out the entirety of like Epic's Unreal Engine and everything like that. I thought that was kind of shitty in some cases, but I saw where they were coming from. But when it comes to actual Fortnite itself, yeah, fucking 100%, they did this themselves. They poured the fucking gasoline on it and lit the match. Like that was entirely on them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, cool. So a couple other things to talk about in the news section before we move on to kind of what we're playing / games that have come out, and kind of got to fire through these pretty quickly. But actually, I think it's just, oh no, it's two more things. Yeah. So we've got World of Warcraft, Shadowlands. So this is actually pretty big news for anybody that is a World of Warcraft fan. And there are obviously some people in Bill's chat, as I got asked last podcast about it. But Shadowlands effectively was supposed to come out and then got delayed. And they pushed it back. You know, so the whole thing here is that they are saying that it's because of the pandemic. They're saying that it's because of COVID, and that all of these things were causing issues and delays and problems. To keep in mind, just so everybody understands, this is the only time this has ever happened is with Burning Crusades. Was the last time that a expansion got delayed. Was Burning Crusades. And when you look at like where WoW's at among the community, there is a lot, or there was, and I don't know if there still is, with Shadowlands, but there was a lot of concern with Shadowlands. Where there was just like decisions that they were making in regards to PvP scaling, decisions that they were making in regards to skills, the leveling system, the abilities, everything. Like even like your daily mission, grinds and things like that of like how you were supposed to do things. Like it was just all over the place. The thing here is I don't think we've gotten enough. If I'm not mistaken in chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we've gotten an official date of when it's going to be released. I think they just said it's pushed. I know that they did the pre-patch. The pre-patch came out today, which usually pre-patches like 6 to 8 weeks out of whenever they're going to launch. But my thing is that if we're talking 6 to 8 weeks, you're now talking a December launch date. I don't see them launching in December. I firmly believe that it will probably not come out until February of next year, is what my thoughts are. Again, I know that Bill is not the MMO player, and I actually have a question. I want to ask this to Bill's chat while we're here. If Bill played an MMO, would you guys be interested in watching him play an MMO? I want to know. I just want to know your side of it. But
throwing Bill under the bus, man.
I'm throwing Bill under the bus. I just want to know. I just want to know if Bill's chat would watch Bill play an MMO. And to the other
Since plan to get Bill to play MMO.
to the other two,
Thanks, Sin.
Not a problem, buddy.
Right under that bus, man.
To the other, to all of you guys. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously, I do think this was needed. I think there was a reason for this, and I do think that it was for the best. And what I can say is that as someone that is very staunch, like leading up to all of this, I was just like, no, I'm not going to do it. And this would be the first expansion I had not played at launch. Them delaying it actually gave me more hope to be like, maybe I'll actually play it. Like, maybe I'll actually play it at launch. Like, what are your guys' feelings on all of this?
Well, I'm not a WoW person at really any means, but from what I've heard, besides all like the features and all the mechanics and stuff they were going to be putting into this expansion, I've heard it was actually like really buggy from a few people who got like sneak peeks of it or whatnot. So I'm all for delays and stuff when games and expansions aren't going to be working properly. Of course, there's an extent to how long something can be delayed. Cyberpunk, but sure.
Bad talking my Cyberpunk bitch. I'll come over there. Don't make me come over there, man.
I think it'll probably be fine. I don't think people should get too upset about this.
I mean, do you think the delay is going to bring people back from the brink that were maybe on the edge of maybe not doing it, or that were just like, no, I'm like me? Like, do you think that there are going to be people like me that are going to be like, you know what? Maybe they're going to do the right thing, and I'll give it a shot.
I think it gives people some sense of hope that there's maybe some more passion and work going into it. I think it just has maybe more time with this pre-patch to really tell.
I'll tell you right now. All right, being a person that has played World of Warcraft since its release, I was in the beta for vanilla, the original one, not the one that we just released back in 2000 whatever. Looking at how they handled the last expansion, Battle for Azeroth, right?
Fucking shit.
Looking at how they handled BFA, they were told prior to releasing BFA, they were told months prior to releasing BFA, inside the beta, inside the PTS, that the game was not ready. They were told that there was severe problems with class identity. They were told that there was severe problems with balance issues with both PvP and PvE. They were told that, everything from raids to fucking questing to open world content was terrible, right? They still pushed it and ignored their community, right? Completely. They were just like, fuck you guys, we're pushing you down anyways because money, right? That's been a thing that Blizzard has been doing a lot as of late, especially ever since they kind of got acquisitioned or whatever you want to acquired by Activision. I continuously say that it's no longer Blizzard, it's Activision Blizzard, because there is no more Blizzard execs there. Point in case in points, we have the original co-founder making his own studio now, so that's a good thing. As a WoW player myself, even with them pushing it back, I will not touch it until a couple months after release.
Yeah. Well, and what sucks about it, honestly, is it being in this spot, because the last time I was on the show, right, I was asked, like I said, about by Bill's channel about going back to WoW. And I will, be the man that tells you, like, I legitimately messaged all four of these guys to say, hey, what are your feelings about going back to Classic? Not to retail, but to Classic, right? And it's still something that I still am thinking about possibly doing, right? Because I do miss an MMO and I want to play it. But like the thing about going there and what's going on in the world, this is the World of Warcraft, and what's going on in that, like, and when you do that,
said the thing.
when they do that, is like going to it months after release. You just in MMOs you feel that zeitgeist is not there. Like there's not that feeling of like I was here, I experienced it first. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but honestly, with the current day and age, that feeling isn't there even when you play on release.
Well,
anymore.
I don't know. I think it is. I think it's still there for one of those things of like being one of the first to experience something.
You think it's to the point of Classic where you were the first to go to
fuck no.
Blackrock Lair?
No, absolutely not. The first, like you were talking about Naxxramas 60, you're talking about the first in Naxxramas. I mean, 1% of people experience Naxxramas. Like just take that and take that into fact. Like when Naxxramas first launched back in vanilla WoW, right? 1% got to actually experience it. Do you know who is one of those 1%?
Right here.
I was. Like I got to raid Naxxramas. And it was fucking glorious, right? Mm-hmm. That does not happen today. Like obviously those things are still not happening, but I still think that there is a fever of playing something new, of playing something, cool, and playing something that's out and experiencing the dungeon for the first time, right? And not being, because here's the thing, like after the 2 months in, right? People are basically just speeding that dungeon. Like the dungeons are getting run. And that's part of the reason why I want to go back to Classic versus this, because Classic is one of those things where it in most part, dungeons cannot just be fucking run through. Like it's fucking hard. Like the reason Enigma says he will not go back to Classic is because it's fucking hard.
No, I won't do it. Like when Classic released, I told y'all you were fucking crazy. I was like, I'm not going back to that shit. I remember that shit. It took me fucking 6 months to get to 60, dude. Fuck that.
but that's the thing, is like I love that feeling. And the big part of me too about going back to Classic is because they're starting up phase 6. The Burning Crusades is right around the corner. Naxxramas is coming back, and for most people, Naxxramas was the best raid that they have ever done, period. And think about that. 15 years, right? Of being out. 15 years of a game being out, and the best fucking raid was pre-patch content to the fucking first expansion. Like that's insane to me to think about. But
see, we have, I think we have vastly different. I agree with you. Naxxramas was fucking amazing. The current day retail WoW is not what it used to be, right? We've said that already. I think we all can agree that in comparison to what it was back in the day, it's a long shot, right? But I will say that Legion was one of my favorite expansions since Wrath.
I was about to say even over
Personally.
Wrath. Like
No. Wrath kicks it out of the park. Like Wrath fucking does. You can't touch Wrath, right? Like I think the only game expansion that I can even put up there with Wrath would be the recent one for Final Fantasy 14, and I think they did a very good job with it. It was the only expansion that I've been like so excited to get into, right? But anything from WoW, no, they haven't touched it. Legion was a far shot from Wrath of the Lich King. The only one that came even close to Legion as well would have been Mr. Pandaria, and I know that's one of the things that everybody hates me for, but I like fucking Eastern things. Right?
Actually,
like,
Mr. Pandaria is by far, by most of the majority of the community of WoW, is rated as one of the best out there. Like the raids were great and whatever else. But
whenever somebody says that, whenever you're like, oh yeah, no, I love fucking this Pandaria, they're like, what, you like pandas? I'm like, no, I didn't like the pandas, but I like the fucking expansion.
I didn't like the expansion because I thought that the route that they took with that expansion was bullshit. You know, and to me, that's where that curve started to happen. Like I even like Cataclysm. Like and Cataclysm by a lot of people is fucking like that was a shit expansion.
Can't agree with you on that one. Cataclysm was terrible.
I loved what they did to the world. Like to me, like anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole, but yeah.
Anyways,
right now
to finish off my point, what I was trying to get at is the fact that like with BFA and with this one right now, Legion was kind of like that that stepping stone that I was like, okay, well if they can just give me Legion but push it like 20% better, I will be happy with BFA, and they couldn't even fucking pull that off. Right? So it's one of those things where it's like I can't go back to World of Warcraft right now and give them a chance unless they specifically prove to me that they've learned from their mistakes, and I don't think that they're going to do that with this next expansion.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Again, WoW. The last thing that I'll say, and we move on, right, is unless Bill or Scruff, you guys have something you want to interject into this conversation. And actually,
I like the goblins.
I do have a question. I actually do have a question for both of you that I want to ask. But the thing that I'll say about WoW is that I feel like retail WoW is a game now that does not need to be played with friends. Like the MMO aspect of it is completely taken out, in my opinion. I think I mentioned this before. Like it's not, in my mind, it's not an MMO anymore. It is I'm going to sign on and there are people that are around me or whatever else, but that like camaraderie of like us four are going to start a guild, us four are going to do a pre-patch thing, us four are going to do something, and we're going to build a community around it. Like, yes, that happens. And like, you've got Asmongold, you've got these, these top, guilds, but like for the most part, it's not that.
You don't need them.
Right.
Yeah.
Back in and again, this is what draws me back to Classic, is that was needed and you had to have that. LFR was not a thing. Fucking, those things did not exist. So you had to have a group of friends. And that's why people in chat are saying like, I will not go play Classic unless I were to have friends to play with. And that I am desperately trying to like be like, hey, Enigma, like come play Classic. Hey, like let's go play Classic. Like let somebody come play Classic with me. Like let's go. Like I am legitimately at this point where I'm like, if someone were to give me an answer that yes, they will go play Classic, I will go right now, download the game, fucking pay the money and go play Classic. Because I do like I am missing an MMO and I want to experience that. Like great.
There you go, Jake.
There,
Jake
awesome. Jake, I will fucking do it right now. I will fucking start or whatever else. Like, yeah. And that's, I'll go play Classic. But the question I want to pose to you two, right, are two kind of similar, but different questions. One, Scruffy, as someone that came to my channel from WildStar, right, an MMO, we played an MMO all the way through.
Yep.
What is it that just turns you off about either WoW or WoW Classic? Like what is it that's just like, because I've done this song and dance with you multiple times, being like, come on, like let's go play. I've paid for your fucking subscription to go play.
Did you?
Yes, I have paid for your subscription to go play.
I know. Anyways, definitely the combat. I loved WildStar's combat a lot more than WoW. I guess I'll go more for WoW's sake. WoW's combat is just too point and clicky for me. I'm not a big fan of that. I like the action-based combat a lot more. That's what really pulls me in MMOs and whatnot. And also, like you said with WoW, like it almost not being a true MMO anymore, in the sense of like, for me, like doing open world quests and whatnot, doing it with like a party of friends, I just didn't feel like it was really a team effort for a lot of that stuff. That's personally me. And again, I came into it pretty late when I did play it. I think I played it like coming into like Legion or before Legion or something. And it's just that sense of coming in late as well for me that really kind of turned me off. Is there's so much that I feel like I missed that I can't catch up on, and maybe I can, but I don't want to put the time into it.
Well, yeah, you can, but you would definitely have
That yeah,
quite a bit of time to go.
I don't want to have to put that much time into doing that, because I'm all for a grind, but I'm not for a big grind like that.
I think that's also one thing that WoW has against other newer MMOs, is that they've just got so much content that if you're coming in fresh to a new expansion,
it's like it's
almost overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
Well, so some would argue that the new expansion is and pre-patch is the time to come into it, because actually they stat squished everybody. Like right now, people are saying, oh, have fun getting into 120. Actually they stat squish 60. It's not 120 anymore. 60 is the cap. Like they brought it back down.
That's what I've heard.
But that the pre-patch time is actually the time to get in, because that's when everybody is relearning new spells. There's things that have changed, all of those things, so you can kind of learn that as you go. But like, and that they've like, now with this one, they have now made it to where like there is accelerated leveling, so you're able to get to that faster, right? If to get to the end game or whatever.
They've made it so that you don't have to go through every
piece of content, right?
In order to get to
you can start off in new area, like you can start in Northrend if you want, which honestly, like if I was going to start a brand new character in retail, that's where I'm going, is Northrend. Like, and I'm going to completely level in Northrend. Because that was one of my favorite expansions as well. But so I guess then are you just turned off to MMOs completely? Like, is any MMO like off your list? So like, if Pantheon comes out or Ashes of Creation comes out, are you not gonna want to jump in and try it?
Is this to me or Bill?
To you.
Oh, no, I'd be down to try it. Coming in fresh with a new game like that, I'd be more willing to try it than WoW. It's not just the combat and stuff in WoW, but that just doesn't help with me wanting to put the time into it.
To Bill, the question that I have for you is, what about MMOs is not your skis? Like what? Because in everything that I can see for you, I would be like, oh, this is like right down his aisle. Like, but what about it doesn't draw you in, or what would it take for, just because we're talking about WoW, for WoW to do something to pull you in?
For me, it's really just the time sink aspect of it. I don't like putting time into a game but still feel like I'm falling behind just because I can't put enough time into it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like with MMOs specifically, it feels like you have to be like constantly putting in X amount of time a day to stay relevant, and that's not something that I'm willing to commit to. It's not saying that I can't commit to it, but I've got kind of a ADHD gaming mindset where sometimes I want to play a shooter, sometimes I want to play Anime Land, sometimes I want to play Dark Souls. Like,
yeah,
I don't. MMOs always struck me as hey, you don't play another game for X amount of months while you're playing this, because you'll become irrelevant or whatnot if you do.
I would say that's accurate into how old MMOs were before, but like I don't think WoW is that now. Like WoW is actually
retail WoW. You could definitely play as like a secondary game for sure.
I mean, it's definitely a time sink if you want to stay cutting edge, but they have now made it to where, because you don't even have to, like, staying cutting edge is not even running raids. It's not even being like it's mythic pluses.
Let me tell you, I have played WoW before. I tried WoW. I think the overwhelming aspect is why I didn't stick with it. My cousin wanted me to get into it so that me and him could do PvP stuff with it, but I never got around to that point because I didn't know what to do or how to go about things. I didn't know, like, I understand the whole point of an MMO is like, oh, you choose what to do. It's nothing set in stone, but it was literally just felt like I was being plopped in somewhere with a million things going on around me, and I felt foreign in a new land and not in a good way.
Oh, well, Bill, I mean, we can take you under our wing, bro. We can make it.
Don't
so
listen to him. Don't listen to him,
scary.
Bill.
Seriously, don't. He'll make you play fucking.
Oh,
He'll
man.
make you play or not retail, but classic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you'll fucking hate every MMO after that.
Oh man. Well, I'm just
That
saying.
is true too.
Yeah. Chat, leave him alone. Anyway, no,
Well,
it's just,
that's the cousin that got me into it. Is AC-130. So
it's interesting just to hear because it is something where, to me, MMOs are kind of that game that can be anything. Obviously, it can't be a shooter, but it can be realistically anything that you really want it to be. I always like hearing people's opinion as to why they just don't enjoy the genre, or if they do enjoy the genre, why don't they enjoy or would not go back to something like, classic or whatever, any other kind of MMO that's out there. So, yeah, so that's WoW. The other news that kind of came out, which we talked a little bit about this, but literally, I think we can probably just touch on this and go is, CD Projekt Red devs, all the shit that came out about like, oh, crunch, just fucking terrible. Crunch. It's a fucking shitty way of doing things. Crunch. CDPR, all the devs came out and said, hey, we're cool with this. We want this because we know that this has got to get out. Like, the game needs to get done and get out. And so we're okay with it.
Essentially, a majority of the developers came out and were like, hey, we had them come up to us and they were like, so do you want us to delay it? And they were like, no, we want it to get out. We've delayed it enough. We're okay with working 1 day a fucking week, 8-hour shift for 6 weeks to get it out on time rather than pushing it back another 3 months.
Right.
There was like, I think there was like a subsect of people that were like, no, I have to work overtime. But that, like, who fucking cares? Like, if it's 3 people that are like, no, I don't want to work overtime, that's 3 people of hundreds, right? Like, come on. Right. It's and the whole, again, the whole thing with crunch, it's a fucking foreign concept to me that people are like up in arms about overtime when literally every other fucking job in the world has mandatory overtime.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, game development is exempt from it. It baffles me. It blows my mind.
Yeah. So there you go. Stop worrying about everybody else's goddamn shit and worry about your own shit. So
Yep.
So now going into, new releases, games that we're playing, things like that, where we're going to spend the bulk of the show. So a couple things that I want to basically rapid fire hit on here is Star Wars Squadrons came out. As someone that is a Star Wars fan, and I played the original Star Wars Squadrons and really liked the original Star Wars Squadron game, I'm really kind of disappointed about this, but I'm not shocked. It's EA, right? I don't think anybody expected EA to do the right thing, but like, the game came out and it's extremely buggy. It's extremely just like, there's a bunch of issues, but you can get past all that. Like, the biggest thing about the game is that it's fun for about 15 minutes. And then after that, it's like, okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Like, it's
watching it get played, the gameplay loop seems like it stagnates in the first couple hours.
So fast, man.
Yeah.
So fast. And like,
plus there's
and I
only
don't
like
think there's
2
enough variation in the different ships or anything to really
well, that and there,
and there's only 2 game
another.
modes. There's only like 2 game modes, and I think only 1 ranked game mode, and people say it's not even a good game mode.
well, and the whole thing too, like, and this is where, if you're gonna do a space shooter, you gotta nail one of 2 things, right, really well, and then the other one can kind of lack. One of them has to be either the fucking like core gameplay loop and mechanics and whatever else is just kick ass to play, and it's a blast, right? And by doing that, you need to have a bunch of ships. You got to have a bunch of different kind of weapon types, weapon classes. Like, it just needs to feel very, fluid. And I think that Elite Dangerous does, like, they're one of their modes, or they have, is a like cockpit. It's only this style of game. does it very well. And I forgot the name I forgot the name of the Elite Dangerous mode. I think it's Valkyrie, but I don't think that's right. But they do a good job of it. But Squadron doesn't do that. The other side is then your maps need to be fucking great because you're in space. It's an open void, right? And
that was one of my complaints. Is like every time that I would watch people fucking playing it, I'm just like, this looks unimpressive.
right. Yeah, you're not. It's
Like,
not like you're,
literally the only thing that I'm looking out at is like 4 big ships and a bunch of lines going everywhere.
yeah. So
Like they could have done so much better.
The this Death Star map, the one where you have like the trench and stuff that you can like duck into, that's the best map in the game. I think
It
all
was,
the rest
yeah.
of them
okay.
are very lackluster.
But
Yeah.
like space, they could have done space so much better. Like so much better. There's so much shit that they could have done with it rather than just a black background with a couple of dots every
Right.
once in a while.
Well, and
Yeah.
you know, the whole thing too was like they added this VR component, which was cool. That's great. You know, I think it's a good idea. But for a content creator, it makes it very difficult to fucking as a viewer to watch, right? To be like, because a lot of people get motion sick, like with VR. The other side of it too is like I've got something strapped to my face. I can't exactly see chat, and in that kind of game, it's not like VR chat or Beat Saber where I can just turn my shit and look at it real quickly and turn it away. But you know, and then they came out, and I think the biggest atrocity was they came out and they said they're not adding anything else to it. They released it and they're done.
Yeah.
Like they're not adding
Yeah.
new content. It's like what? Like why? What do you mean you're not adding?
Is
new
it a
content?
full price retail game?
No, it's $40.
It's $40.
Okay. Well, I guess that's somewhat of a.
that's EA for you, man.
Yeah.
I am increasingly more and more convinced that EA is just kind of like Star Wars is just our moneymaker, and people are just gonna buy the shit that we throw at them regardless.
I mean, it's
just
the
because
same
Star
thing
Wars.
with the sports games right now.
Yeah.
All the sports games right now are fucking garbage, but people buy into them because they need the next Madden, they need the
Yep.
next FIFA, and all that
Mhm.
shit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, so that's Star Wars Squadrons. I maybe if it goes on sale for like $20, maybe pick it up. Like, and even then, it's still still a
Maybe.
long shot.
It did, like I said, the gameplay loop, in my opinion, did look fun. It just looks dull.
It looks fun.
There's
It's
not
fun for
enough
about
variation.
Yeah, it looks fun for about
Yeah.
fucking 20 minutes, or you know, a few matches, and you're like, all right, I'm done. So, you know, move on. I don't know. Like to me, they should have. Why not do like fucking, you know, ground to space? You know what I mean? Like fucking dogfighting on a planet, then take that shit up to space, man. Like that's the fucking move, in my opinion, or whatever.
Well,
else.
the one that comes to mind for me is like I don't know if you guys remember. It was Eve, I think, that had a first-person shooter portion to it at one point for the PlayStation. You remember that?
Yes. Fuck. It was. I know what you're talking about. I
I
played.
think it was called Valkyrie. I think that was the name of it. I think that's what
It
what
might
you're
have been
thinking of
Valkyrie.
Is
Like-
Eve Valkyrie? I think that was what.
No,
it
it was
but-
515. Dust
515
or-
Dust 15. Yep,
Yeah.
that was it.
Yep.
They had that, and I think like that. If they could have like merged Battlefront 2 with this game and had it so that you could fly down onto the, you know, you had your shit in space, kind of like they had in Battlefield, right? Where you had not only dogfights in fucking the air, you had tank fights on the ground and fucking troops on the ground as well. If they could have merged all that into one, I think it would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
Because like just like you said, like the gameplay loop for this Squadrons game seems like it's fun for about 15 minutes, but
Seems very repetitive.
module that in with the gameplay loop from Squadrons, and
Yeah.
you've got a winning team right there. I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but a Star Wars Squadron, like I said, wait for it to go on fucking sale, then maybe pick it up.
Right.
Another game that came out, and actually this came out a couple weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, or right after the podcast, around the podcast. This is a very quick indie game that I did want to touch on, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on Phasmophobia. Have you guys seen this? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
it's fucking
Yeah, seen
taking
it.
over,
It's been blown up.
Twitch. You know,
I personally think it looks good. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I've been watching it. It looks buggy as shit. Like don't get me wrong. Like me
It's
saying that
buggy
it
as
looks
shit,
good.
and it's not a pretty game.
Yeah.
But in
That's
Yeah.
what I was about to
indie-
say. Like me saying that it looks good is not by any means me endorsing the fact that it looks like poo poo.
Yeah, the
But-
game looks like shit. The character models move around fucking
Yeah.
horrible. The ghosts are like,
Like black blobs.
yeah, like,
They're glitchy.
game-
They're a little bit weird.
but in the current indie landscape, you don't need that as long as the gameplay loop is fun.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
game nails its atmosphere and gameplay loop so well that everything else can fuck off. Like
Yeah.
it's playable. It the looks are passable. I mean, for fuck's sake, the biggest game on Twitch right now is Among Us, which is literally like the
2D.
simplest
2D, it's
design
like, yeah.
game you could do. So
What
the game is
have you guys played it, or have you guys played Phasmophobia?
No, I've
I
only
have
seen it so
not.
far.
I've watched a ton of people play it though.
It's
Like a lot
it's
of my,
it's one of those games that I like watching it play, and I like the idea of me playing it, but I'm not going
Mhm.
to spend $20 on it.
Yeah, like when I first seen it, I thought honestly, not gonna lie, I thought it was dumb. But like when I actually sat down and started to watch it more, because all I seen when I first started like seeing it was like the glitches and like the
Yeah.
character models breaking their backs, looking up into the ceiling or whatever. I
oh,
thought
they
like,
still do
this
that
game's
though.
oh, they still do it.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
but,
also
like,
the
that's
game is
all I
supposed to be
saw.
played in VR. Like it's meant to be played in
Yeah.
fucking VR,
Right.
and they added the off VR mode, which is causing
no,
those
I'll-
things.
But
I'll be completely honest. Like if I had a VR set, like a VR headset, I would buy it and play it. I think it would
Oh,
be
yeah, for
kind of
sure.
an interesting.
yeah,
It would be fun to have like you guys all in VR and just have 4 of us fucking hunting down ghosts and getting the shit scared out of us.
the
Fucking
thing I like about it is the fact that like when I watched somebody play it alone, it was a whole different game, honestly.
Yeah.
They played it alone and it actually became like a pretty decent horror game. Like they were going in and trying to solve this by themselves, being creaks and little like the breath or whatever, meaning there's a ghost around you, and it was
Yeah.
so much scarier. So you can have that aspect to the game of actually having a decent horror game kind of mystery solver thing. Or if you want to play it with friends, it can be more than that. It could be, kind of spooky, but also just have a
Just
fucking
stupid
shits,
fun.
giggles, just
Yeah.
weird things happening. So I think it's an awesome game, actually, just for that fact.
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah,
And
I don't.
I'm the first one, and I'll be honest with you because I always try to be honest with you guys about these kinds of things. I play a bunch, or have played at least a bunch of like low quality as far as visuals and stuff
Oh, yeah.
go horror
yeah.
games.
Yeah, same here.
I've
And
got
horror-
over 100 hours in fucking My Summer Car. That's the worst fucking looking game I've ever played.
Yeah.
If any genre can handle a like buggy, bad graphics, that kind of stuff, it's a horror genre.
Yeah.
Because as bad as it sounds, sometimes the bugs you don't know if it's a bug or if it's the game fucking with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like a saving grace to indie horror, and
Yeah.
why a lot of indie horrors do very well.
Oh, and honestly, like horror games, as good as having like a scary fucking, demon or a scary ghost would be, it's not about the ghost. It's not about the look. I mean, it is about the look of the ghost, but it's more about the anticipation, the build up,
Yeah.
the scare, like the footsteps that you hear in the background,
The
The
the,
breathing
the
in your
fucking
ear.
whispers,
Yeah.
the breathing in your
ambiance
ear,
and,
everything like that, right? So if you've got a decent audio system,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter what kind of bullshit graphics you got.
And a cool thing with this game too, that I thought was really neat was there's actual voice commands and cues that you can use to either upset
Like
the
piss the
ghost or
ghost
bring
off.
them out. Yeah, like I think that's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just not my game. It's not my style. It's not my thing. I'm like, I look at
What
it.
is your game?
I like this. Okay, let's just really quickly cut. All right, right here. He is willing to play. What's that fucking that MMO
Project
you guys
Gorgon.
fucking love? Project
It's
Gorgon.
got nothing to do with the graphics.
He is fucking willing to play Project Gorgon, but he says this game is
God,
ass.
man. I'm not. Did I say it's ass? Did those words come out of my mouth? No. I legitimately, all I said was that it's just not my thing. Like I don't like. I've watched it being played, and I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm not saying it's not a good game. I could care less about the graphics. Like I'm not saying any of that. Like I just am like, okay, all right, I get it, but like it is one of those things where I'm happy for the guy. It's one developer and he's made like a couple, like he's made like almost $2 million off this. That's fucking amazing. Like
That's crazy,
I am
man.
so happy for you. Congrats. Like, but I just don't think that like I don't see the entertainment value out of it. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's like the concept of the game is cool, but I would much rather play Dead by Daylight. You know what I mean? Like it still to me hits one of the veins of like this is like a Dead by Daylight, except no one is controlling the ghost. It's someone that, you know, and honestly to me, I'd be like, yo, someone needs to control the ghost. Like that would be like add in that element of it.
I mean, I think that would be a good option. Like I do think that if you had like somebody like another multiplayer entity controlling the actual ghost and fucking with people, I think that would be a good system to add in.
That would be actually, yeah, that would be a lot.
Because like the one of the games, one of the games that I love to play and we've mentioned in the past was if you guys have ever played The Hidden, in an old Source game.
Yep.
That was one that I fucking loved, man.
Dude,
being able to fuck with friends and they had like voice options where it was like I see you and you could fuck with people and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so fun.
I will say I disagree with you, Sin, on your view. Like, I think comparing it to Dead by Daylight is.
I'm not comparing it. For me, I'm just saying to me, it's in the same vein as Dead by Daylight. Like
he would rather play Dead by Daylight.
I'm not comparing it to Dead by Daylight. I'm not saying it is Dead by Daylight. I am saying that to me, when I look at it, I'm like, I would much rather go play a game like Dead by Daylight than play this because I don't. Like me crouching.
Is it because of the competitive aspect of Dead by Daylight?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Like I am definitely a competitive multiplayer person. You know, and I am definitely someone that is, you know, I like the competitive aspect of it. But I also too like I think maybe if they did add a human aspect to the ghost, that it would drive me more to play it because it's still a game, and in any type of game where it's you versus the AI, there is a way to figure out how to meta the shit out of it. You know what I mean? And so at that point, it loses its thing, like it loses its draw. Because
here's a thought: what if they Twitch integrated it and gave like chat like cues to like do stuff with the ghost?
That would be cool, I think.
But
because there's games like Welcome to the Game that does that with the way it's the chat's actually able to control and manipulate the AI to an extent in that one.
You know, I think that could definitely do something. I just to me, like I said, the loop of the game, like as someone that like I think playing with friends, it's a lot like Among Us, right? Like I am also the same type of like I'm like cool. Among Us is fun for 3 games or 4 games, and then I'm done. Like I'm good. I'm out. Like I'm good. Like I just don't want to. I get it. I understand it. That's great. I'm out. Like I don't want to. You know, I just whatever. And that's the same thing with
like
this.
The people you play with are not having the good RP experience.
No, it's
I feel like that's more. I feel like Among Us, like the game itself, isn't the like enjoyable part. It's that like that mind picking social interaction thing, like analyzing the people you're playing with, and
I guess it's not even just that. It's just like one of the things of like, again, even like in Among Us where the entire game is fucking controlled by players, right? It's still one of the things of like, all right, the lights went out. All right, I've got to go do this. All right, you know, it's the same thing here where like, you know, you've got you know, this where it's like, okay, I now see the breath. Okay, I'm seeing the meters. Oh, someone got captured. All right, there's the ghost here. You know, and it's just, I don't know.
Like, I see what you're saying. I think we got to give it like a little bit of time, though. Of course, since it is like
no, absolutely.
Brand new. You know, I think there's a lot of good that this developer can do with this game, and if he just decides to do it, then I think it could actually last for a good while.
I actually completely agree with you on the fact that I think it would be a lot better if they would give the ghost control to a player.
Yeah,
I think what you're
or like something like that.
Yeah. Like what you're getting at is the fact that like the NPC after a while, and then somebody mentioned it in I think in your chat, Bill. After a while you kind of understand the AI. It gets predictable and everything like that, right? Just like you said, Sin. You know, once you see your breath, oh, you know that you need to do this, or once you see the fucking dirty water, you know, oh shit, the fucking ghost is in here, fucking do this and this, right? But adding that human element to it, I think would push it that much further, where it's like the human might try and like separate people up, right? He might pull one person over here by making a distraction and then go back and kill another person over here, right? So it's one of those things where I think that's actually a decent idea, and I think that if the creator wanted to do something like legit, that would be where he should go.
Yeah. And then at that point, maybe it is something where, like I said, then I would be more interested, because again, I'm sorry guys, but I would be more interested in that because of that PvP element. I don't know, but I'm not taking away from the game. I mean, the game is $14 or $13.99 or whatever else. And honestly, like, I think that it is worth every penny of it, if that's the kind of thing. And honestly, I would much rather you spend $14 on this than to sub up for WoW for a month. You know what I mean? Like, go give this indie dev this thing. And again, it's one person, so like, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just, at the current state, I've watched it, enjoyed it, great, okay, cool, I get it, moving on. Like, I don't watch people play Among Us. I'm not going to watch people play Phasmophobia. It just isn't my shit. So, but yeah. So in any case, now moving on to the other stuff. So another one, yes, my Discord's going off. I've exited Discord, so no longer, you're not gonna be getting any messages. I cannot help the fact that I work in a company that literally, like, everything is done through Discord. So yes, I was getting Discord messages. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ. So another game that came out real quick to hit on before we get into the big one is Second Extinction came out.
What is that? I haven't even seen that.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
So Second Extinction, it's $25 on Steam. It's in early access right now. It is Left 4 Dead meets Turok. So the concept here is a 3-player co-op game where you jump into an open world map, and you have objectives that you're going through in a campaign that you're going through, and the different objectives move from one thing to another thing to another thing. There are 4 characters that you can choose from, which I think is odd because you have 4 characters, but only 3 people can play. Like, I don't know if they're going to expand it to 4 players later or what, but that's just weird. In any case, you have a list of characters that you can play as. Some have snipers. They all have different abilities and different weapons. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Deep Rock Galactic, mixed with like Left 4 Dead meets Turok.
Blood and Stone.
Yeah, and so the whole thing there is like you are shooting dinosaurs, and there's a bunch of different dinosaurs that are coming up. Graphically, it looks good. The gameplay loop is fun, but it's that same thing of like, okay, I've done this. I've shot dinosaurs. I rinse, repeat, go here, right? And there is an upgrade progression, like you're just like in Deep Rock, where you're leveling your character and putting points into it. To me, this again is another thing that it's missing, that like, I think PvP element. In this, I think the game, in a lot of games, I really think the game would benefit from like having multiple parties on the field trying to fight for the same objective, or trying to fight for, whatever it may be, like the point or whatever. But like, and it does come be chaotic, like Left 4 Dead. It becomes fucking crazy chaotic. I want the world PvP in every aspect. There's not a game out there, in my personal opinion, that some type of PvP doesn't really add to the game. Genshin Impact.
Barbie Dreamhouse doesn't need PvP.
Yes, it does. I should be able to slap the shit out of Ken.
This literally looks like an old game I used to play called Orion Prelude, which was the same concept of you like fighting dinosaurs to get to some objective or whatnot.
Yeah.
It like literally looks like the same thing.
Stardew Valley 100% would be better with PvP.
Hello, Big Island Adventure.
Yeah, every game. Okay, and not every game, but there are a lot of.
Do you think Dark Souls is better with PvP?
Oh, absolutely. Dark Souls is 100% better with PvP, dude. Like getting invaded or whatever else is fucking absolutely infuriating and a blessing all in the same thing. So
Bill got salty last night with PvP.
Oh yeah. That was only the arena, but that's beside the point.
But any case, it's again, this is another one of those games where I'm like, it's if you like Deep Rock Galactic, go play Deep Rock Galactic. Like, if you really want to shoot dinosaurs, go play this game. I mean, it runs well. The game looks well. It looks
have you
great.
played it?
Runs, yeah, I have.
You have it?
Yeah.
Have you played Ark?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
It
okay.
always sounds like the same fucking thing. As in
No, it's
shoot
no,
dinosaurs in
no,
Ark.
no. It's a lot.
No, it
It's
doesn't
not.
look like
It's a lot
that.
different than Ark. But it's basically if you like Left 4 Dead, but you wanted dinosaurs instead of zombies, this is it. Like, go play it.
It
I'm
looks
afraid it's
cool,
gonna go the same route
but-
as like what Vermintide did.
Oh no, Vermintide's way better than this. Like,
Vermintide's way better.
Vermintide's
And I still got bored with Vermintide.
Vermintide's got
Just
PvP,
repetitive, you mean?
just saying.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you
Yeah.
go and do
The grind loop on that one to get the like the better equipment got stale for me.
you're going and doing like the you're gonna go here, unlock this thing, go call down something that's gonna call up a ship. I mean, the like 2.5 hours that I played of the game, I was able, like, I did a variety of different types of missions, and there was different things from like protect and hold to escort to, you know, wait to, you know, these kind of missions. The coolest aspect of it is like if Left 4 Dead basically dropped you in a part of one of the maps and then said, you can go anywhere in this entire map that you want, instead of like funneling you into hallways. Like, that's one of the coolest things about this, is that you can literally just go wherever. So you drop in in a zone for a campaign, but like there's a bunch of side quests that you can do. There's side things that you can get gear from.
That definitely reminds me more of Deep Rock in that aspect then.
But like you
Deep
basically
Rock's done.
and like there's nothing like when you load in on the map, it's not like you're loading into a different section of the map or that there are barriers. It's literally you're just like you're dropping in on a drop zone, and then that's it. And like then you can go wherever the fuck you want, like and do whatever you want.
Is it constant waves, or is it like just like you run into random kind of waves or whatnot?
No,
Would they
I mean
come-
it's depending on, like, it's not like a constant thing where they're just like funneling over and over and over and over at
Yeah.
you, unless you're at one of the objectives. Like with the Vermintide or whatever, they're just gonna, they're gonna just dump enemies into your face. Same thing with like Left 4 Dead. This is very much of like, as you're wandering around the world and you do something, like you may see a cluster of dinosaurs and then they'll fucking attack you. You may have like
So this isn't like a game director. This is like everything is like set static in the world, and you just have to work around it.
No, it's not set. It's not. It's also not set static. Like I've gone into the same spot in 2 different playthroughs and didn't see the same dinosaurs, and also
Well, procedurally generated, but
Right.
like there's not like you after so much time you're gonna get an event, and it's like a dice roll. In which
The only thing-
you're gonna get an elite dino, or you're gonna get a horde of dinos, like, that kind of shit.
the only thing I've seen is that there was like, I was going to one of the objectives and out of nowhere, like it said, "Oh shit," or like this audio cue came on and a fucking huge ass electrified T-Rex showed up. Which was cool. Again, it's
yeah, that's kind of cool.
it's a cool concept. It's a game, like, you know, again, it's $25. And
From what I saw yesterday, I checked it out when you talked about it. It's getting decent reviews.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I
not-
think it's
it's
right
Getting
now at,
decent,
like
but I mean, it's hard to trust Steam reviews. But
I mean, it's not
it's
not
decent-
terrible. Like,
decent
again,
feedback,
if you're
yeah.
wanting something that's like, I want a shooter, I just want a bullshit game I can jump in, play, you know, go around. Like I said, if you enjoy Deep Rock, I would probably still say go play Deep Rock, because Deep Rock is obviously more fledged out. But like, if you want dinosaurs instead of fucking bugs, and
I
you
would
don't-
probably wait for this to go on sale or something.
I mean, I think even at $20, I think
it's not a
or
bad
$25,
price,
it's not
but
bad. Like, honestly, it's not a bad
They just
game.
need.
Like,
I feel like more. They need to make it get you out of that repetitive loop of
Right.
these kinds of games.
Like it would be a game where I would say, like, oh, me, you, and Enigma, we didn't know what we wanted to do, or me, you, and Bill, we didn't know what we wanted to do. Didn't have a game to go play. Let's go fucking jump in and play this. Like, let's go, you know, screw around and dick around and shoot some shit. And again, it is a cool concept. Whatever else, but
oh, interesting.
you know, yeah,
It's made by the same people that made Generation Zero.
yes,
Huh.
it is made by the same people that made Generation Zero, which that has
That game's great.
really, because I've heard opposite of that.
I've heard a lot of stuff about the game.
Yeah, I've heard.
I've heard it's gotten better, though.
Generation Zero.
So
I've heard that it's gotten better, and I know a few people who like it.
But like I said, I
Yeah.
mean, I would be down to play with anybody that picks it up. You know, it is like I said, it's a fun little game. It's cool. You know, it is what it is. You know, so we talked about Genshin Impact last week. We're not going to bring it back up this week. Genshin Impact's still out there. A bunch of people are playing it. There's new.
Well, hold on. I'm pretty sure that people wanted to know why you fucking quit and uninstalled. That's the only reason why I put it on there, boy.
Okay. As someone that was a big advocate, I'm not. Yes, I have uninstalled the game. The reason that I have uninstalled the game is because I'm not hiding from any of this. I see what's the loop that's happening, right? And it's the same thing that I've been echoing this entire podcast. It seems the loop is just dull at this point, in my opinion. It's one of those things where like it's a gear grind, but like I've also echoed, I want co-op. I need PvP. I don't even need PvP in this game. And it's the same reason why I've dropped Marvel, right? I need something to do other than just trying to roll for a fucking 5 stack or a five, to get Diluc or to get whatever. Like, I understand that, but the gacha mechanic of it is cool and it's interesting and it's whatever else. I went in, opened up the world. I saw the world that was going on. With the mission quests, I wasn't having a bunch of fun with the missions anymore. Once I opened up the world and explored the world, I was like, okay, cool. Like it was, yeah, this is great. But then it got down to like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? And because the co-op in that game is not that great, like and I don't think anybody in here can really, the 4 of you guys can disagree with me. Like the co-op really is lacking.
There's not much co-op. It's limited.
Yeah. Right. The co-op is lacking. And that's the same fucking problem that I have with Marvel. Like the moment that Marvel brings me out a fucking in the next patch is supposed to be like co-op stuff, I will fucking jump in and play it. Like I will fucking be right back in there. The moment that they give me like dungeons or raids in Genshin, yeah, maybe I'll reinstall it and like go back after like trying to get that stuff. But like to me right now, there's no point for me to get my gear, to get leveled up, to do all of this stuff when I'm just like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, what is the point? Right.
What's the point of playing games then?
I mean, I play games that like I play League where that loop doesn't stop. The loop is I mean, you can say but the loop doesn't stop. The purpose of playing League is for me to get better. Like that's why I play League. And it is to have fun. And if you're having fun with Genshin, have a blast. I have not knocked anybody in here for playing Genshin, and I'm not going to knock anybody for playing Genshin. I understand why people like Genshin.
I get why you left, man. It's okay.
And I'm not saying that Genshin's not a good game, like at all. Like I'm just saying
we wanted the Senpai, but the Senpai was too much for us. And
look, guess what? Guess who's the fucking one that brought all of these fuckers to Genshin? Hello, hi. I'm right here.
I know why he left, guys. I know the real reason. I talked to him the other day about it. He said this himself. It's because it's not enough like Breath of the Wild.
Yes, that's it. That is it.
But no, I completely understand where you're coming from. I haven't gotten that feeling yet. Like I'm still enjoying thoroughly exploring the world and stuff and doing like I don't find the like the daily quests or any of that stuff monotonous or boring. I'm still enjoying the gameplay loop, but I can understand where somebody could like get bored with that.
I'm surprised I haven't yet. I get burnt out of games so easily, and I'm still going with this one somehow.
Yeah,
I think my biggest thing with it, and when Sin uninstalled, or prior to Sin uninstalling, we kind of had a conversation between me and him. You hit to about 23. I think I'm like 23 or 25. I can't remember what I was. And you get to a certain point where like I've uncovered the entire map now, and essentially all you have to do now is do bosses, like world bosses, and with their resin system, you can only do like 3 of those, and then
the resin is a bit. But I mean, I have found that at least right now they've been decently generous to give you these like resin. I don't know, boosters or whatever, and then primo, but it's gonna stop. It's gonna stop.
Well, I mean, so and I think that's the thing is like I am seeing that writing on the wall, right? And they are making fucking money. They made back their entire. They're making a shit ton of money, right? Which I still stand by. Don't any of you fuckers put your damn credit card in that fucking thing. And if you did, you're a dumbass. And I will fucking say it to your face. But
And I actually put your credit card in. Don't worry.
yeah, good luck. But the thing about it is, like, I saw that writing on the wall, right, and see that. But again, it's still one of those things of like, and I think why you're like what you're experiencing, Scruffy, and why you're not burnt out yet is because you enjoy that world, like, and actually opening up the world and exploring that world.
That's the biggest thing. I'm still not done exploring it all.
Once you have opened up that entire map,
that's kind of when that's kind of when it finished for me. It was once I had unlocked the entire map, I was just like, okay, I can't really do I can't really do co-op because in order to do co-op you have to have resin. Even then, you can only do 3 things,
I was going to say it. I wasn't going to. But if this game doesn't give me a 5-star, I'm going to be done.
Bro,
I'm AR 32, and I have not got any 5 stars.
The 5-star system, the gacha system.
4 stars. I barely
the
got
gacha system is like Bill's fucking bot. Like, it will not give Scruffy 5 stars. And man, Bill, fuck your bot, man. I hate your fucking
yeah, I just so I mean I don't I don't know, and I think a lot of people right now it is something because there's a lack of stuff to play. There's nothing that's really out right now, and
that's what it always
I can tell you right now, as soon as Cyberpunk comes down, myself, like, I'm excited for Cyberpunk. I'm nowhere near as excited as fucking Enigma is, but everything will die for Enigma, right? For a lot of things, things are gonna die for me, and even like Baldur's Gate. Hey, quick segue. Baldur's Gate came out, and that's absorbed a huge amount of my time. But like, I think that as the stuff happens, and also too, as they basically open up the world, it very much is going to die. Like, the game is just not like, maybe not on mobile. Like, it'll be a mobile thing, but like, it is not going to be the fucking powerhouse that it is right now. On PC, I just don't see it. So. But yes, this is the last segment, guys. So make sure that you guys get your questions in and get them ready. Go ahead and post them up. We will grab them. But the last segment that we're going to be talking about is Baldur's Gate 3. So Baldur's Gate 3 came out. Let me get ones in chat, and everybody here, raise your hand if you have played Baldur's Gate.
I can't raise my hand. So
yeah, I know your hand's raised. So Baldur's Gate 3 is made by Larian Studios, and it is $60, and it is full price, and it is riddled with bugs, and it is amazing. It is a phenomenal game, and it is essentially it is 5e D&D, but generated in a living, breathing 3D world, right? And man, oh man, I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. And if you've played Larian's other game, Divinity: Original Sin, very much in the same vein of this, except this is D&D. Divinity is its own world. They use their own stuff or whatever else. But like, fuck, man, Baldur's Gate's so fucking good. It's so good. Like, so good.
Let me ask you guys specifically then, what's like, how does this like take the formula that this company set up and take it to the next level? What's the next step in this style of game from Divinity 2?
I'll let one of you guys explain. I mean,
I don't understand the question.
I think
how does this improve on the formula that their previous games have set up?
I think Divinity 2, it's more D&D. It's more like role based, check based.
Inside of Divinity 2, they had a very it was a very like percentage type deal, right? There wasn't any like roles, you didn't see them, anything like that. With this game, it's extremely heavily reliant on like perception checks, health checks, or strength checks, constitution checks, rolls, D20s, this and that in between, and it's very heavily influenced off of 5e and D&D. So I think that's honestly how they've taken the already a fucking amazing game of Divinity: Original Sin 2 and built upon it to make Baldur's Gate 3 into what it is. Like, it's a very fun game. It's a very enjoyable game. Baldur's Gate 3 rides the tails of Baldur's Gate 2, but I think that like with the new action system and the way that Larian has integrated their own type of engine, I think they've just taken it to the next level.
Yeah.
Like-
I think also what separates it from Divinity 2 is Divinity being a great game and everything, but it is very almost like a comical take on like on a role playing turn based game. Baldur's Gate takes it very seriously. It's besides all the bugs, it's very serious,
Right.
and all the dialogue and all the things you can do with just all the quests and interactions. It's a lot
Well,
more serious.
Now,
type
now
of
Baldur's
game.
Gate does get comical. Like there are some comedical
Oh yeah,
shit that
Well,
happens. We've not gotten there yet,
definitely,
but like
definitely.
you know, it is the thing about it is, and I've said this numerous times on my stream when I play and whatever else. There is Divinity is the baby step into Baldur's Gate. Divinity is an action point system, and there are mechanics in Divinity that you can cheese the shit out of to fucking like do certain things. Whereas in Baldur's Gate, like, and what I mean by that is like, so again, for anybody that's played D&D, you have your class system, you have your stat system, you're putting points into certain things give you abilities, you know, buffs, you know, whatever, all of this stuff, skills, everything, right? But in Divinity, there is a action point system, and you start off, everybody starts off with like 5 or 6 or 4, I can't
4 or
remember.
5,
4,
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to get more as you level up. But essentially what happens is you can exit the entire fight. Your team is still engaged in that fight. Recover all your action points, recover all your health, recover your mana, come back in and engage back in that fight, right? And you can cheese that mechanic over and over again. I have yet to see in Baldur's Gate where we've been able to do that.
We've not really tried, to be fair.
We haven't
I don't think that we
tried.
really.
But the
We've
other
really
thing,
ran out
the
of
other
combat
thing
yet.
about it is that in Divinity, your spells are always, they're just on a cooldown.
Yeah.
And there's not, unless it's source, it's not a one and done. In this, it's just like fucking D&D.
D&D.
You have fucking spell slots, and you
Well, I
can
don't.
you don't.
Okay.
But as a spellcaster, you will have spell slots, and once you use that spell slot, you have to short rest to get certain ones back, or long rest to get them all back. And once they're gone, right? So like it's I'm gonna tell you right now, it's fucking brutal. Like it is. That fight that we had against those spiders last or a couple nights ago was amazing. And and honestly, out of all the fights that we've had in Divinity, that fight to me was more fun than all of the fights that we've done with Divinity. But that fight was
It made you
fucking
think,
dope,
like
dude.
it really makes you think a lot more and be really like precise in what you want to do.
It was
Well, and
so
that's
much fun.
and that's the D&D coming in, right? Like
Yeah.
D&D praises and like almost in some cases like rewards people that have ingenuity and creativity when it comes to like encounters, right?
Yeah.
If you're smart and you can kind of plan a battlefield correctly in D&D, there's very few engagements unless it's like a very 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 high threat level that you can't really. I shouldn't say that because obviously it's based upon, you know, your dungeon master and everything like that. But at least in this game, it feels like if you can kind of almost scout the battlefield beforehand and figure everything out, because like we were talking about that spider thing, like we sat there for a good like 15 minutes trying to look at it, and then finally Tony was like, "Oh shit." Like we can literally just drop the fucking dude off of the spider webs. Like
Right,
like literally that's gonna do a shit ton of damage, and that's how we did that fight, right? I'm sure there's other ways that we could have done that fight, but that was just the way that we chose.
And that opens up the other element of the game, which makes this so, to a lot of people it's daunting, but I'm telling you, if you like role-playing games and are a fan of D&D in any way, shape, or form, you need to fucking play it, because every fucking interaction, everything that you do, every fight literally is completely fucking different every time. Like, for the most part. But like, you're like, when you just, again, most people, or let me do this. Bill, you've not played this game, correct?
No.
All right. Have you watched us play this game? Did you watch us play that spider fight?
I did not watch you play this.
Awesome. Let me ask you, as a person that has played RPGs and things like that, if you walk into an area, Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you see spider webs all over the place, right? And you see an enemy on a spider web. What's your first initial reaction? What do you do? Like, you engage in that fight. Tell me what your steps are. Like, what would you do?
When I see an enemy trapped on a spider web?
Or you see a spider crawling across the spider web.
The first thing that comes to mind is light the web on fire.
Boom. It's doable. And that's the thing. In a lot of games, that's not doable. In a lot of games, that's not a thing. In this game, it's doable. If you see a ledge somewhere, fucking thunder wave their ass off the ledge. There's a command to shove. So in fact, fucking we've had
Enigma knows about it.
Enigma knows very well about getting shoved off of high places. But
dude, I got yeeted like 300 fucking feet away, man. It was ridiculous.
and like, there's an element to, like, we went into one of the main very beginning areas, and there was multiple paths to take on, like, whether we kill this one person, whether we steal something, whether we fucking, go down a normal quest line. Like, multiple people are giving you multiple quests that are all intertwined into doing something, but it's going to cause a chain reaction throughout everything. So everything that you do in this game literally just is going to set up something for the next one. And honestly, I'm telling you, like, I really recommend, if you've played it single player, you need to play it multiplayer. You need to find friends to play this game with, even if it's just one other person, because the co-op in this game is what makes everything so much different. Because you'll have, like, so many times Enigma and Scruffy and Tony are off talking to this dude. This happens a lot with Divinity, not as much in Baldur's Gate, but they'll be talking to this dude, and I'll be off in the fucking distance picking up pocket, and I'll be like, guys, I need you guys over here because I fucking got caught, and now the entire town is fucking just like wanting to murder us. Like, or
all the time.
We send Tony up to go to a quest, and he gets fucking laid, robbed, and then completely blown up because, or whatever. Like, but those are the interactions that happen in this game that make it great. Now, with all of that being said, it's fucking buggy as shit. Like, it is extremely buggy. Yeah. But I'll tell you one thing: if there is one fucking one other company out there that I would trust, aside from CDPR, right? I trust Larian Studios to fix their shit, and they have been on top of it from fucking day one.
It's been like pretty much daily patches, honestly, like almost daily.
So they have legitimately, like, fucking just banged out, like, patch after patch after patch, fixing issues and whatever else. And it's such a great, it's such a great game. And even the bugs are fucking hilarious, dude. They were like, the last thing I'll say on it, and I'll turn it over to you guys, is that I love the fact that, like, in the middle of a cinematic, I'll be fucking having this dialogue about this like epic, thing that's happening in the game, because I don't want to ruin any story points, but like this epic thing that's super dramatic. Somebody just died, and like people over here crying and things going on or whatever else. And all I see is fucking Scruffy walk right in front of my fucking camera or whatever else, and then like walk backward or like get in front of the get in front of you. It's like watching a 6-year-old like trying to get in the middle of a fucking interview for the news, and it's hilarious. Or you're seeing like their fucking head, like, oh my God, there's one part where this guy was laying on the ground, and this dude's neck and head was so far bent fucking
like stretched, dude.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Enigma's back was like
fucking
broken.
Broke, dude. Or like like his hands are like this, like held like this, like he's not holding anything or some shit, dude.
What was that one the other day when Tony was like worshiping your crotch?
Oh yeah, like it's that kind of stuff that legitimately, honest to God, makes it fucking hilarious, dude. Like, oh yeah. And what I will say is somebody brought up in chat. So Tony brought up in chat is that what I want to. Okay, spoiler alert for like just a quick spoiler alert. Like,
I knew this.
Like something. I don't want to spoil it, but to understand the context
don't
of it.
Spoil it.
No, but to understand the context, you need to understand what it is.
He got me killed.
Essentially, it was supposed to happen to me. Like a certain element was supposed to happen to me because I wanted this certain thing to happen. Like I've been asking for this. If you've been in my stream around it, I've been saying, I want this to happen. I need this to happen. It gave me the opportunity to have happen. So I was like, great, I'm going to take the opportunity. And everybody,
it showed his character and everything too. So we thought it was him. This thing was happening too.
Right. And literally, so we're at camp and this is happening, and they're all like, Oh my god. All right, hurry this up. Then the screen goes
Yep.
black, comes back up, and Scruffy is fucking
I'm
dead.
dead. I'm the one who's dead.
Scruffy is fucking dead. And it was great. And I fucking loved it, dude. I thought it was hilarious.
Now, I will preface this with saying that if they don't fix these fucking bugs, I will not be as forgiving, right?
No,
Because
Right.
I've said it before. Like with these are the types of bugs that like Fallout has, that like the Elder Scrolls have. They're funny, and it's like you get a laugh on it. But if you don't fucking like make sure that they fucking fix them,
Right.
you
Because
get
in
more
the end,
Bethesdas.
it does break your immersion,
Yeah.
and that's what you're playing these games for.
Yeah.
Is the
But
immersion.
it is beta, so I'm willing to give
it's
them.
not even
you know,
beta,
I'm-
bro.
It's early access.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And it
I am
shows.
willing to give them a little bit of a pass. But if by the end of the year, which they've said that the early access should take about a year, if by the end of the year we're still having these fucking bugs, then Larian needs to get their shit together.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
don't see them doing that because I
don't see them doing it
like,
either.
Larian, like the fucking CEO legitimately comes out and reenacts D&D like when he's doing a press conference. Like this dude is no joke, and I don't think that they are going to it's gonna fail. So
Yeah.
you know, I understand if you don't want to give your $60 for it, like it's a hefty price tag,
It is a hefty price.
but I'm telling you right now, man, it's fucking great. Like
It's honestly caught a lot of flack for that too. Like I can kind of agree with people where it's like if it's early access, you know, why are you charging full AAA game pricing for it? Because most early access don't charge full price for the game, but it's Larian, and I think that they know that they can kind of get away with it.
also
honestly.
too, you get
So
more
the
content
big-
out of this than you do in most
Yeah.
full-fledged games that are full
Yeah.
price.
Right. And this is only the first part of it, really.
Exactly. So
So
if you're not willing to deal with the bugs and you're not willing to deal with like the development, maybe don't purchase it right now. Wait until it comes to release in a year or whenever they release it.
Yeah.
Probably the better option. You'll probably get a better product. You'll probably get a better working product at that point. So if you're not
Yeah.
willing to deal with those types of things, then I would just say don't bother with purchasing it currently.
yeah,
Okay,
Yep.
sounds
So,
good.
yep.
Can
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
lead off question time?
Yeah,
'Cause
sure.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question for you
Well, I
guys.
was gonna ask you what you've been playing because I didn't want to knock. You know, all three of us have been playing Baldur's Gate, but I wanted to open up to you. Like, what have you been up to?
I've been playing Majora's Mask. We're doing a Baytober thing. Me and Sunsprite Graphics, my girlfriend, she's been playing through Majora's Mask for October stream, so that's been a lot of fun. And then I've got
Is that her first time playing it?
community. Huh?
Is that her first time playing through Majora's Mask?
Oh
or-
no, it's her favorite game of all time.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
And then the community and I are going to be doing a Dark Souls 3 Red Run coming up in the second half of October, which a Red Run is where at each bonfire I summon in red phantoms from the community, and they like try to kill me as I progress through a level. So
Your community or just just in general?
my community.
Oh, okay. Huh. Cool. How's it been going? Has it been?
I haven't started it yet. Like I said, that's going to be after the Majora's Mask run.
Okay. Cool.
Majora's Mask still one of my favorite.
It's a great one, man. It is a really good one, and we've got some. I've got a cool surprise thing coming up, probably for the end of October for everybody that I'm really excited to showcase. But I'll leave it at that for now.
Nice. Well, cool.
Nice.
But my question to you guys to start off question time is this going to be a thing where they have like a system where you can create your own campaigns and stuff?
Oh, absolutely.
I have no doubt.
I can
They
imagine
have
there'll be modding.
they have a
campaign
dungeon
creation.
they have a dungeon master
Yeah.
option inside of Divinity 2 that allows you to create your own campaign. So I have
Yeah.
no doubt
Yeah.
that'll be a thing over here.
And there's PvP.
Oh yeah, there's PvP.
But there is legitimately PvP in Divinity. We've just actually never done it officially.
Yeah.
Right.
Just besides pushing them off the
Yeeting people off the fucking top of a damn building. So
And so next question from the chats is, this is a two-parter. For all three of y'all, they're curious what classes you're playing in Baldur's right now.
I think I'll let you start off.
In our co-op campaign or in any of the campaigns?
Let's go with your co-op
Yeah,
campaign.
good co-op.
Co-op campaign, I am currently doing a rogue. I'm doing a drow Lothborn Rogue.
He does not have Featherfall. We know that for a
I do
fact.
not have Featherfall. I definitely do not have Featherfall.
Yep.
So that's what I'm playing. I'm enjoying it so far. The Rogue, I laugh because all these guys are like, "Oh, I'm gonna have long rest to get my spell slots back," and I'm like, "What spell slots? I don't have any spell slots. I can use my abilities wherever the fuck I want to. What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Yep.
Okay, so spell slots, Scruffy. What are you using your spells for? What are you playing as?
I am not really using any spells. I am playing a tiefling fighter, and I'm specializing in martial weapon proficiency as well as like acrobatics and whatnot. And I want to take my class and kind of like make him a spear master is my idea for it. I just want to be very proficient with spears, charging into battle, jumping in from places and whatnot. I think,
Bro, like
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
single
Dragoon
handedly,
action.
yeah.
single-handedly that encounter we were talking about, the spider one,
Mm-hmm.
that was fucking scruff. Like I was pretty much dead.
The
Fucking
entire
Tony
time,
was pretty
bro.
much dead.
Yeah.
Fucking Sin was dead, completely down on the fucking ground, like 100 feet away from us, you know?
Well, what
Yeah.
sucked about that was that I legitimately, like, I could have ended that fight so fast. I blinked in, blinked down below. Like, me and this fucking spider were sitting there face to face. Not eyeing this fucking 8-eyed bitch. Like, me, it's
It's a
on,
matriarch too.
It's
too. So
about
this is
like
a
it's about to
big boy.
it's about to go down, and then for whatever fucking reason, like, she happened to enrage and got an extra turn and fucking just
Nailed
like
him, dude.
one shotted me, and I'm like, you gotta be
He's
kidding me,
a
man.
squishy. I'll let you
Yeah.
say it.
So
What are you saying? What
Yep.
could have killed
in
this
every
boss?
D&D campaign I have ever played I run a wizard, and I love it to death. I really do. Wizards are one of my favorite classes ever, you know, and yes, to answer the question, one of the very first things I did was cast magic missile into the darkness. But I'm a high elf, or not a high elf, I'm a half elf wizard. So I am not happy with all of that they're not more classes or not more races in the game. I do wish that they would have opened up the races more. But because I particularly like to play orcs, and I like to play wizard orcs. But yeah, I'm a high elf or a half elf wizard. So
Very cool.
Yep.
And then the second part of that question was for me, and it was, will you ever check out Baldur's Gate 3 on release or during the beta? And I will probably wait until release. I do have interest in this game. It's something that I'm very interested in trying out. Probably not during beta until they work out some of the bugs and stuff. I can enjoy it from afar until then, but I enjoyed the hell out of Divinity 2 for what I did play. The deciding factor on me getting it will be just having a stable group to play with, because it doesn't seem like something I'd want to play solo.
So
Can I ask you, Bill,
It's-
what class you would play though, if you had any idea?
I really like druids and summoners, so I would
Oh.
probably. I don't know if there's anything along
Man,
the.
after
not
my
not
own
not
heart.
not yet.
There will be.
Not yet.
There
Yeah,
will be. Druids
Yeah.
will be in there, and then once they release all this magic schools, you'll have necromancy, shit like that.
I was
So-
about to
for,
say
wizards.
secondary after summoner would be like some sort of like blood mage or necro, like what they had in Divinity 2. I really like the blood mage.
So
Oh yeah.
I don't know how true this is, but there was an interview that Larian Studios did with, I want to say it was Game Insider, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, that basically they, in their quote unquote committed / did not commit, but committed to implementing every race and class that is in 5e to be playable inside of Baldur's Gate. To me, that is a fucking tall glass to fucking
No,
fill.
it's not.
I don't know, man. That's a lot of fucking
if they've
balancing.
only committed to implementing every race and class in 5e, that's not very many races and classes.
That's
You're thinking of also like fucking what's it called, like the guy to monsters. You're also thinking of like the artificers and everything like that come from
well,
like the other
artificers. I definitely think artificers will be in the game because we've already
Oh, yeah.
already seen hints.
I'm sure
of
they
that, or whatever. But the other side of it too is that they will, because of modding, like with Divinity, there's stuff that is in there that people have made like their own classes, and like they've
Oh,
made
yeah.
their
Yeah.
own like necros.
With
and stuff
modding,
like
there's
that.
endless capabilities of
Right.
how much can be in this game.
So yeah. And actually,
No, and that's what I've said from the start. Is like as soon as they add in like modding, ooh, the shit that you will see is insane.
And
Yeah.
these modders, like we've seen it in
the
Divinity,
shit
they
you will see
actually
is insane.
do so good with their mods. They're high quality.
What I'll tell you, Bill, though, is actually, so I was on the same thing. I was like, you know what, this game just does not seem fun to play by yourself. I don't play Divinity by myself because I don't find that game very fun, even though it's probably more like easy to be played on a single player basis. But Baldur's Gate, I'm playing a single player run and having a blast with it. Like, yeah. So I would say, like, it is, even if you don't have a group to play with, which you do, like there's 4 of us right here and your chat saying that they will definitely play with you, for sure.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know, it's one of those things where I definitely try it out as single player too.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Do we want to do a meme question real quick?
I think we'll wrap. Yeah. Are there any other questions in chat before we?
I have one other serious question.
So
and
let's
it's
do
also about Baldur's Gate.
let's do the serious question, then we'll wrap up with the meme question.
Okay. They are saying that they love the companion system, but the community seems to be very much against them. What are your views on the NPCs and companions?
Yeah. So I think that they do a good job of making ones that you inherently like and then others that you dislike. For me, I like Gale. A lot of people don't like Gale. In fact, Scruffy and Enigma can't stand Gale.
Fuck Gale, dude. Get him the fuck out of here.
I like
so
Gale.
pompous.
I think, but also I'm a wizard, so like, I innately have a bond with Gale because he is a wizard as well. And that's one thing I will touch on. Like, a super important thing about this in my mind is, unlike any other RPG, with something like Baldur's Gate, not even Divinity, but like with Baldur's Gate, really, you need to fucking create, like, engross yourself in your character, right? If you're a drow, like Enigma plays a drow, drows are fucking like pretentious
asshole
dicks, and that fits Enigma perfectly. He's a pretentious dick
asshole.
anyway,
Yeah.
so it works really, really well. Like, wizards and high elves are very cocky and like whatever else. I'm a half elf, so like my backstory is that my mom, you know, fell in love with an orc, and you know that's not allowed in high elf culture, and so like, you know, there's a struggle there, but like, you know, all of that. So like, you play your role, like play your fucking role.
I'm just mistaken.
Yeah, Scruffy.
I'm a poor mistaken tiefling.
Like,
we don't listen to Scruffy. Scruffy just sits in the corner. And
yeah, but
he comes
still
out when we
save
need
your
to stab
asses.
shit. Yeah.
So you know, it's playing those characters, but like I also like Astarion, and a lot of people don't like Astarion. He is a very fucking weird character. He is he's a vampire. I love him. Like I love him to death. Other people don't like him.
I'm the same way. I like Shadowheart. Like, and at first I hated Shadowheart. I thought she was a bitch. But like playing my Lothborn drow, she's cool with it. Like, she's like literally the only companion thus far that I've ran into that they're like, oh, you're a drow, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
Bro,
I kind of
she's
like
so
the Githyanki girl. What's her name? It's something like
Lae'zel,
Yeah,
Lae'zel.
Lae'zel.
She's though she can be kind of a
Bro,
you know,
she's
be-
so edgy, dude. She's so fucking like.
You see those
That's
booty
Githyanki.
cheeks,
I
bro.
mean, she's-
but, I
she's
like her,
Githyanki.
and I kind of like Shadowheart now too. So
Why don't you be coming after my girl, Scruff?
I'm not.
The
I'm
first
just
the
saying.
first chance I get to kill
Mike got
fucking
good taste.
the first chance I get to kill Shadowheart, I'm taking
That's okay. I'm gonna push fucking Gale off a fucking cliff.
Okay, whatever. He'll just blink right back the fuck up.
Bro,
It doesn't really matter.
Bro, he ain't going to. I'm gonna make
Anyway.
sure all of his spell slots are used up.
Anyway, so yeah. But no, it's I think that they're getting some flack around the companion system because it's one of these things where you have to have the companions in your party. Like, you don't have to. You can send them to your camp and they don't ever have to be there, but realistically, you got to have the fucking companions there. But like, I think they're good companions. They all have their own agenda. They're all very much like in their line. And if you really think about the game of like what it is, guess what? Mind flayers have fucking invaded. They're like,
Hey, whoa.
what? It's fucking Baldur's Gate.
No
Mind
spoilers,
Flayer,
bro.
son of a bitch, man. Mind Flayers are in every single fucking D&D campaign ever in existence ever. So guess what? There's Mind Flayers, and that's all. And like, they're trying to take over the world. That's all I'm saying. And so like, it's just they're in their stories. So like, I don't understand why people are so fucking hard up on these companions. Like, I don't know what they want.
I don't know if it should be that at least with our multiplayer, when we ever had like a companion in our multiplayer one, it bugged shit out. So I don't know if it was something to do with that or whatnot.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
So far I haven't ran into any issues with him. Like I've played with him on my single player campaign. I haven't had any issues with him on that one. Like there's obviously certain ones that I would rather have in like party rather than on other ones, but I mean I haven't had too many issues with him. So
well, so someone in chat said that in the last 2 5e campaigns they didn't have any mind flayers. You're doing it wrong. So do better. All right, what's the meme question?
Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Oh, this is funny.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Sin would be Team Edward.
I think I'm Team Edward though.
I'm also Team Edward.
Fuck y'all, I'm Jacob, bro.
What the fuck are y'all talking about?
Some weird shit though.
Bro, you don't like big furry man? I mean, come on, man.
No, different weird shit.
I know you like big furry man, bro. You got close to me when I took a picture with you, and I felt that snuggle, bro.
Can someone, for the love of God, please tell me what the fuck you're talking about?
Twilight.
Fuck y'all. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. No, I'm sorry. I don't have anything in this game.
You would be Edward, bro. You would.
I don't even know what that fucking means. Someone tell me what is it? What's the
vampire
you're an
fan?
Edward. It's okay.
What is the choice here?
You're a vampire fan.
What's the other option?
Werewolf.
A werewolf.
Are these like legit vampires? Or are they like some fucking weird?
No,
they're shitty sparkly vampires.
No, then no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You can take your shirt off and shine in the sun.
No. If we're talking like Astarian vampires, then yes, I'm down. If we're talking like whatever the fuck that is, I don't. Oh God. This is just fucking dumb.
Also, can somebody link us the clip of Enigma getting yeeted at some point?
I think it's inside you guys' Discord. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure it's.
Did you post it? No, we can pop it in there.
We'll find it.
Yeah, no worries. But thank you guys for coming out to the podcast. It's been a great show.
Yeah. Hey, who was the person that asked that question?
Bun.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get banned Bun right now.
Get the fuck out of here. Jesus Christ. No. All right. Anyway, I am offended by that question. So, no, I'm just kidding.
You're offended by a lot.
I am. I'm offended by a lot. I'm angry.
I mean,
I'm always
he's a
angry.
sparkly vampire.
He's offended by the lack of PvP.
Yeah. Is there PvP in fucking? Do the vampires fight the fucking?
They
do.
Thing in this?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I thought Twilight was like some fucking love story bullshit.
It is. With vampires and werewolves.
It's.
Anyway,
I think we're getting off on a tangent here, boys. What are we talking about?
You guys have an amazing night, guys. Check us out again on the Spotify's and the YouTubeums. You can hit !podcast and all the channels. Get the link there. If you guys are listening to the show after the fact and would love to participate, and we'd love to have you here live, we go live every other Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here on my channel, over at Scruffy's channel, and or at Bill's channel. We have all 3 chats up. We're able to see what's going on, engage with you guys, and interact with you guys as things are happening. We love having you here. Thank you guys so much. Again, as always, it's a blast. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye, guys.
Later.
See you guys.